Well, holy shit. We already started talking. We're sorry. We started talking already. Bobo's here. What's up? We are, I mean, my jaw's dropped over David. Okay, so this guy's a singer or whatever.
Yes.
He blew up, I think, on the internet or something. I don't even know.
Everybody blows up on the internet.
He spells his name with a 4, and that really does make him stand out. And so, which makes me wonder, like, are you entirely human? He's on tour or whatever. They find his Tesla, of all cars, impounded in a Hollywood, impound yard.
Apparently it had been left abandoned somewhere in the Hollywood Hills.
Yeah.
My first thought was like, oh, okay, well, if you're going to steal a car and then you're going to stash a dead body in it, it's actually really clever to like go and deliberately park it in some rich neighborhood with really narrow hillside roadways. Like the roads in the Hollywood Hills are super narrow. They're like twisty, turny, and you have to be really careful and go really slow.
I miss them.
So if there's a car parked on there and it's staying there, the people who live there are going to be like, yeah, we got to get this car out of here because it's like a pain in the ass to navigate around.
Yeah.
So it just seems really interesting. Like if you're a criminal and you want to like get the city to like remove it from any crime scene or anything, you would just like deliberately park it someplace in some rich neighborhood so it gets towed. So that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Because I don't know anything. But I didn't know
Why would you?
I thought that he was totally unaware that his car was even stolen because he had been on the road for a long time, right? He'd already been touring.
Well, I don't know how long it's been, but
it wasn't reported stolen. His car was not reported stolen.
His car was not reported stolen. Mm-hmm. In the car,
which would make sense if he's out of town when it happened.
A dismembered body.
Yes.
That has now been identified as a 13-year-old girl.
Yes, her name.
I
have it here.
Which her mother.
Her name is Celeste Rivas Hernandez.
Yeah, and so her mother, I guess, spoke with TMZ. They have she and David. They have a tattoo.
They have a matching tattoo.
They have a matching tattoo that is shh.
Yeah.
It's on their finger.
To be sure, I have seen this tattoo. That's like one of those trending tattoos.
I'm so
like getting like birds flying on your ankle or some shit. You know, it's like one of those tattoos that it's like
it's a fucking secret, is what it is.
It's like discount
Delicate's
at the tattoo
Delicate,
shop.
What's going on? I hope you're fucking good.
Anyway,
it went like this. It was like shh. That's what that means. It means secret. Anyway, whatever. Listen, I don't know what happened. I don't know what David did or didn't do.
Listen,
all I know is this shit is fucking.
Do you want to see this?
Crazy. Yeah.
This is the missing person report.
Okay.
Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Last seen April 5th, 2024. Last seen in Lake Elsinore, California.
April 5th.
Yeah, her current age is 13.
April 5th.
April 5th.
So she was decomposed.
Oh, well, that was when she was last seen. She may have like run off and like been with her friends or whatever and then disappeared. That doesn't mean that that's the date that she passed.
I think it does.
Oh, okay. She's 13. She's 5'3", 120 pounds. That's what it says here. Last seen wearing gray pants and a black sweater, a hat, and a Hello Kitty sandals. Left the house 9 p.m. on that date. Super sad. She's a pretty girl.
She's so pretty.
Anyway, this person that provided all of this.
This world is lost. It's just, it's gone. It's lost. It's just.
Well, crimes have been happening forever, Dale.
I get it.
You're just learning about them now.
Dismembering a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah, I know. It's horrible.
Wildly, like, it's the most. I can't slaughter my food. Do you know what I mean? Like I can't, like a pig, a chicken, any of it.
Are you saying that you can't relate to the murderer? Is that what you're trying to say?
I know that shouldn't be a revelation at all, but it's just so fucking out there. Like, obviously I don't relate to a murderer, but
hey, bro, like, look, you accidentally make a dead body, or you purposefully make a dead body. What are you gonna do with it?
Dude, I seriously get wheezy at like a little cut on my finger. I'm like, oh, look at this cut. This is, I got a bandage.
I know. I don't know how people do violent stuff. I really don't. I just like.
But it's so violent. Like, that's just so outrageous. Well, anyway, moving on with the story. She is. So they have these matching tattoos, which I think is just, you don't think is a big deal. I think it's a huge deal.
I don't think it's a big deal because there's trending tattoos.
If
you're the type of person who gets a tattoo, then all of your friends might get the same tattoo at any point in your life.
But maybe it wouldn't be if she wasn't in his car, chopped up. Maybe it wouldn't be if he wasn't dating a 13-year-old, or it looks like he was. And his mother did come out and said to TMZ that she was dating somebody named David, or her boyfriend was named David.
That's what her mother said?
Her mother said that to TMZ, according to TMZ.
The plot thickens.
Her mother said that she had a boyfriend named David. So now she's got a boyfriend named David.
Yeah.
She's chopped up in his car.
We also know that she's 13,
and
he's 20.
she had a matching tattoo on her finger that says shh.
Yeah. Okay, so I found this delightful little
Holy
post. This person
shit.
posted on Facebook. Stephanie Guerrero Susie. I'm going to credit her. She's really funny. She said, in today's episode of CSI, Criminal Steph Investigations. She said, this dude is guilty as hell. You mean to tell me that the dismembered body found in the car, not reported stolen, but towed for being abandoned, has a matching tattoo with him?
Yeah, exactly.
It was identified as a missing girl who disappeared when she was 13, and her mom said she had a boyfriend named David.
Yep.
And he has a song straight up titled Romantic Homicide.
Yeah, which is 3 years ago.
Which is, older song. Which doesn't look good. But it doesn't look bad either, because,
It was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But
And dude's been out of the country for a month.
we don't know that he wasn't like in a different romantic relationship with a child
Yeah, who knows?
and fantasizing this possible outcome somehow.
She said, dude's been out of the country for a month and the body was badly decomposed. Length of time probably matches decomp stage, but she doesn't know. Anywho, here is the lyrics
Seriously,
of Romantic...
it makes I can feel my heart in my neck. It's just so intense. That's just so intense.
Really intense.
He went on tour. Like, oh yeah, okay, I got to go on tour now. I guess that's a good time. Like, if you're going to be like, hey, my days are numbered, I might as well go have a good time. And
apparently somebody has collected social media pictures of them together. But we don't know if it's exactly them, because they're like selfies, but, they're wearing hoodies and stuff. It could be different people. I don't know. I cannot confirm nor deny this, but
he canceled his
if
show
he
in
knows the
Seattle.
girl who ended up dismembered in his own car, that's bad. I think that's all that the investigators would need to bring charges. I don't think they would need anything else.
Well, maybe, I don't know. He canceled his show in Seattle.
Well, here's the thing. If he's innocent, he would cancel his shows because he just found out a close friend of his.
No, but when they announced that he...
Yeah, but they didn't have the body wasn't identified.
His car had a chopped up body in it.
Okay. So let me just say his alibi could be, I was out of town. She was staying at my house where my car is. She was driving my car around. Oh, no, wait, she's 13. Well, maybe she was. And then, whoever was hanging at the house with her maybe did it.
13, bro.
Like, what's his alibi is what I want to know.
What's his alibi?
I'm always very interested in innocent until proven guilty with these high profile cases. Like, I don't believe that. I believe that Luigi's innocent. I'm very suspicious that this guy, this Utah shooter, had nothing to do with it.
Really?
Yes. Because the story, the authorities...
The gun is the biggest problem.
The authorities are telling a story that does not add up.
No, the gun is the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just don't trust cops to not want to, just,
and by the way,
tie up a case real fast.
We can cover that and watch that without being on the political side of things, because we're just talking about what's going on.
Conspiracies.
We're into the conspiracy side. We're not into the politics side of it or whatever, and all the madness. But the idea, because I'll tell you, man, it's so interesting, because the first thing that people said about that one was that, oh, this guy hit him in the neck. Who does that? Amateur. Okay. Well, if you're going to paint a picture, aren't you going to, try to get
Well, see, here's the thing. This is where they catch you, though. Okay, you got to be careful of this, because the question is not who did it, right? What kind of person did it? The question is the person that they're saying is the prime suspect, did they do it? This is what I'm concerned about. I know that the crime that Luigi is on trial for was committed by somebody. I don't believe he had anything to do with it, because they haven't shown any...
So we're talking about two different cases.
Yes.
You're talking Luigi on your side. I'm talking...
No, I know, but I'm saying, and this guy in Utah. So they're saying that's their prime suspect, but they haven't shown any reason why he should be. So what you're saying is that what the crime scene is saying and what the body is saying about the evidence of who did it, but the authorities aren't telling that story. The authorities are saying this guy did it, and their story doesn't add up. So I know that they put innocent people in jail a lot, And so I just feel like in these high profile cases where they're really, really motivated to save face and look like they've solved the case so everybody can move on, that's exactly the kind of motive that usually occurs, that happens, that puts innocent people in prison, which happens a lot.
We'll see what happens. Obviously, we're so completely out of our depth when it comes to, even like really truly covering it. And that, like these guys, it's, on the one hand, it feels like they're, those who could carry out things like, deep conspiracies. You think they have like, a lot of protection. You think they tell
a clearer story too.
Yeah, they would have like...
It doesn't make any sense.
Forensics all sorted, like the whole thing.
I know.
It's like Karen Reed when you're like looking at like how bad that was.
Really? The prosecution doesn't want to explain how he got those wounds, those parallel puncture wounds?
We still have them in our folder, and I was looking at them.
Yeah.
Because they just glanced at it. I just looked at them. As soon as I looked at them, I just shook my head. I was like...
Bro, a car didn't do that and stuff and sustained no damage. Come on.
And I said this then, and I'll say it now because you're bringing this up, because that means unequivocally that they were framing a woman who had nothing to do with a murder with murder.
I'm like head over heels, like always just like straight up over my skis, like so eager to believe those conspiracies because I follow groups like the Innocence Project where they have lawyers that work on freeing.
Isn't that what's his name who repped O.J. Simpson? He's one of the founders. I got to remember his name.
Maybe. I don't know.
Barry Scheck.
Like the West Memphis 3 case. Those kids had nothing to fucking do with it, bro. Like the Innocence Project is always freeing innocent people who have been in prison for a really long time.
Yeah.
Everybody thought it was like open and shut case. It was not. So I don't know.
Say hi to some people real quick. Bobo's here. Bobo was here before everybody else. Delicate's here. We said hi to Delicate. Demon Child, or you say Diamond Child.
Damon
Child. I wish we could know, because I think it's Demon. I think every time I've seen that, I've always thought that was Demon. Either way, it's awesome.
I love those greetings. Damon Child 1977 said, and we're off, chumrads.
Chumrads. Yes.
You're adorable.
SC is here. Hanada is here. So this is great. Well, so back to the topic at hand, which is just absolutely flooring in every possible way. And I'll tell you, when it happened, I was like, oh, okay, well, guy's car. We certainly gave it a plug when it happened and said that, hey, this happened. But in my head, I was like, damn, but he's on tour. I was like, well, if he's still eating popcorn, he's probably fine. But these motherfuckers will go on tour. Now, I'm not saying he has not been charged with anything. There is no absolute, this is all just speculative right now. He may, in fact, have nothing to do with it.
Here's what we know.
Yeah.
We know that they are not releasing the information about the time of that person's death. They can tell with they can tell with how the person was left, what the conditions are. They can estimate when the death was. Delicate is in the comments saying if she was missing since April 5th, 2024.
Right.
Right.
I heard that.
There's no way that that her remains would have been in the car that long. They noticed them.
There's no way, not without stinking to heavens.
Well, also they noticed it because of the smell, and I don't think after a year that people continue to smell. I don't know. It's really gory to talk about. I don't really know the details, but however, this is what I'm saying.
Like flies.
The investigators know when that person passed. Yeah. And they're not releasing that information. And they're specifically doing it because they want to know what dude's alibi is. They want to know what dude's schedule was. Since this girl disappeared, they're going to want to know exactly where he was at all times.
Where have you been at all times? Yeah.
Yeah. And so they're not releasing that information on purpose.
Why didn't you report your car stolen? Oh, man, I'm a busy guy. I'm everywhere. What? It's stolen. Nah, dude, where did I park that thing last?
Yeah, right.
Because, every now and then I just leave my car.
I loaned it to a friend who loans it to a friend, whatever.
Yeah, but all that has to check out.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's not convict David before David has even had... David may not have anything to do with it.
That's what I'm saying.
My God, it's so suspicious. It's crazy. For him, if he's had no involvement, I'm like, damn, dude, you got all the cards stacked against you.
You got to be careful, though, because having matching tattoos with somebody does not mean that you are the one responsible for their demise.
But it's just ugly as fuck, especially because she's 13 years old and it's shh. And let me tell you something as a victim. It's all about the secret. It's all about the secret.
Okay. But that doesn't mean that he's responsible for her passing, you know? So it's like...
I didn't say it did.
You got to be careful. Like, okay, maybe that means they knew each other. You know? If they have pictures together, maybe that means they knew each other while she was alive. Like, I just think
She was
interesting.
chopped up in the man's car.
The reason why I was
I'm not overstepping any boundaries at this time.
I know. But don't you think it's easy to frame somebody too? So, you know, they have to figure out who was really responsible. For sure, they're going to run with him as the prime suspect. For sure. I don't know what his...
I mean, everything points at him right now.
Yes.
Right? So everything just points at him right now. Dismemberment. And then the idea that he would like go on tour, which is wild. Ah, man, it's just crazy. It's crazy. But he canceled the Seattle show. I think I tried to get that in there. Maybe I didn't or I didn't so far. But he was due to go on like maybe tonight. I don't know. He canceled it. Like that's another thing. It's like, why are you canceling shows? And the reason I say why are you canceling shows is because when it was reported, he was like, oh yeah, really, yeah, no, give me a call if you need any help. I'll be here on tour. Huh? That's weird. Real? Wow. Yeah, that's unexpected.
Well, he knows he's in trouble. He's not going to just continue to play shows like everything's normal. Imagine how stressful that is. If you did not do it, you're like still like, how could you go to work?
I guess you could say that his behavior is almost congruent with somebody who didn't know who it was.
Yes.
Because you could say like he was like, oh, he was just touring. And then when he found out who it was, he was like, oh shit, it's her. Fuck.
This is what I'm saying, you know?
Bad news bears.
You got to make sure that you're not like leaning too far on the guilty side just because somebody...
It's hard not to, though. They have matching tattoos. She's chopped up in his car.
Dale,
His car
again
wasn't
with the
reported
tattoos.
stolen. No, you
can't be
again with the
tricked by
tattoos.
stuff that
You're the
easily.
one dismissing it. You just read from somebody who also said, first thing, tattoos. First thing they said was the tattoos.
Dale and I watch a lot of true crime shows.
You guys want to see my new mug?
I know Dale replaced his mug and it's not as good as the other one and that's very sad, but at least you have a bigger mug now.
It's ceramic. It gets me 30% of the way there.
Okay, so listen. You and I watch a lot of true crime shows. And one of the things that I always have these morbid fantasies that like I'll go missing or some mysterious thing will happen to me and then Dale will be the prime suspect. And because you have this history of being like wrongfully accused of stuff, like I've always just been like, damn, that would really suck for him. So one thing,
please make sure you don't leave any kind of like breadcrumbs that lead them errantly my way.
Well, one of the things that I feel like is we've seen on a bunch of these shows is that the prime suspect ends up being the person closest to the deceased, and that it turns out that it's not them, but they were just like, you know, hassled and interrogated and sleep deprived and tortured basically by the authorities, trying to get them to confess to something they never even did. Yeah. There was that one crime show. I wish that I'd thought of looking up the case because I can't remember off the top of my head, but he was interrogated for like 22 hours and he was like on camera in the interrogation room being like, you guys are torturing me. I didn't have anything to do with it. And then they like found her. They were just convinced with no evidence whatsoever that she was dead and that he did it.
And he confessed. I remember that.
And then they found her and she was alive and she was fine.
She was alive. Mm-hmm. He confessed to killing her. It was wild.
Because they made him.
Yeah.
It's a really great example of how you can really elicit a false confession out of somebody.
You truly can.
And so what I'm saying is
especially if you give them like the Golden Bridge, right?
Just
like
because
don't worry about it. There's, you know, we're going to get through it. You know, you got the support you need.
This girl was 13 and she was in a relationship with a 20-year-old singer. He was out of town. It's possible that he might have been her biggest protector or something. Yeah. And that's the reason why she is now was victimized by somebody else.
I hope
just because they knew each other doesn't mean that he's responsible for her death.
It doesn't. Of course it doesn't. It just is absolutely looking terrible for him at the moment. It can't really look any worse aside from him actually confessing because of the matching tattoos, actually.
And I also just want to be clear, if it turns out that it is like absolutely him, like no doubt. I'm not saying it isn't. So it's like I won't be wrong later. I'm just saying we can't just jump the gun. We got to see more evidence. Anyway.
Well, look at this. Somebody says someone from the Warner Brothers premiere videos was saying your book exposes Leo as an evildoer. Well, you can pick up a copy at Amazon. That's an intimidating statement you made there.
I don't think that's...
Evildoer.
That's not true.
No, I wouldn't say he's an evildoer.
Your book does not...
I would say he's an asshole.
Your book does not expose Leo as an evildoer.
No, it exposes him as being a fucking... an asshole. A misogynist. Misogynist, asshole, homophobe. I mean, if those things are evil to you,
But he's
they
also
certainly don't help the world be a better place.
he's exposed himself as being a homophobe
But and
too.
yeah, and by the way, my book merely tells the tales. Do you know what I mean? They're his stories. They're the things he did. As I said, as I wrote in my preface, which I'd gladly read for you if you'd like. You know, if you don't like the way you're portrayed in the book, maybe behave a different way. But Leonardo DiCaprio, you know, he also ruined my life. So I mentioned those things and his hypocrisy with the environment. And don't get me started. You're getting me started. So I don't know what that is. Warner Brothers Premiere Videos. I hope it brings more kind people our way.
I know that'd be interesting.
I would enjoy that. I'm waiting patiently. Somebody needs to say something, dude, because Leo has shut me down, bro. The reason why I'm all over this Baldoni story, which I've told so many times, of course, is because Leo shuts me down. I got his boot on my neck right now. As we sit here right now, he has and is stopping stories being told about my book. He is once again suppressing my work. He's doing it the best he can. I know it's true. I actually have interacted with the people he's suppressed. One of them in the UK. And this guy before, and all of them had the same hubris. And I got this from the Hollywood Reporter. I got this from Far Out Magazine. I got
hubris?
this from New York Magazine.
Oh, yeah. Where they're like, he can't influence.
We don't like Leonardo.
Not my editor.
He's like, we don't like Leo. And one of them, we don't like Leo over here. I'm like, well, that doesn't matter. And they're like, yes, it does. I'm like, no, it fucking doesn't. I was like, you think you're going to run a story that's actually true on this? You're out of your mind. Leo is a part of a multi-billion-dollar network of human beings. You don't have, it's not going to happen, dude. And in every situation, in every single situation, New York Post documentary, Vanity Fair, these are the things I actually did, with the exception only of the Andy Signor interviews, which are now off the internet. Were Leonardo DiCaprio and his publicists and his power play, they were able to influence and manipulate, even mutilate the story and the facts and skew it just enough to make him look like the fucking lying prince that he is.
Yeah.
And he's a lying prince because he's building a fucking resort in Israel on the beach. Just try to put it together.
As an environmentalist.
He's an environmentalist building a resort for fucking rich people to go and lay on the beach,
bro.
Just up the road from a genocide.
Can It Be Said is with us. This is really great. So this is the person who was telling you about someone from the Warner Brothers premiere videos was saying your book exposes Leo as an evildoer.
Yeah.
The London premiere for the movie. Some people in the comments were talking about the book, and they're behind you.
Oh, Leo's gonna get
the book behind you. Yeah.
Leo's gonna get so mad at me. He is gonna be so mad. Oh, I love it. He might come for me though. Listen, I'm just telling you for sure. This has been predicted. People have said to me, people with knowledge about these kinds of things said, if it gets momentum, he's gonna come for you.
If you don't like how you're portrayed...
I'm really scared at the moment. Like I got sweaty palms and everything.
If you don't like how you're portrayed in someone's memoir, then maybe you should have acted different.
I'm kind of having a panic attack.
Okay, well.
I really am. It's really great, but I'm having kind of a panic attack. Like obviously I want it to happen, but it's drying up my mouth. It's drying up my mouth. It literally is. That's okay. I'm a rock'em sock'em kind of guy.
That's right.
You know what I mean? When I was a kid, I had that game. You know what I'm talking about? Rock'em sock'ems. The red guy and the rock'em sock'em robots.
Yes.
Bro. It was fucking good stuff. I was good at that game, man. I'm so terrified. Okay, moving right along.
Have a sip.
You know what I didn't do?
What?
Chop anybody up and throw them in a fucking car and let them fucking be discovered months later and destroy families or do anything like that. I didn't do anything like that. You know, I'm an innocent man in that regard. All right, well, that's...
You also didn't destroy all the resources of a small Spanish village in order to build your diamond foundry.
No.
You know, the guy's just a fucking fraud, dude. He was memorializing...
Can I interrupt because where can I read it? Well, you can read it on Amazon. You can read it on Kindle Unlimited, or you can also go to my website where I'm signing copies for 20% off. It's tworealbook.com. Any way you read it is a thrill for me. So, and if you do read it, I hope you'll come back and tell us how you feel about it, even if it's a pie in my face. So sorry, Angela. I'm just taking care of some business. After all, this whole thing is to promote the book behind me, Too Real. This live brought to you by Too Real, a Hollywood memoir. I'm just, why I'm losing, the saliva in my mouth is because he said that, which made me freak out a little bit. And then I'm really emotionally moved by this poor girl. I saw her face today and it tore me up. I think about her mother. I'm brokenhearted for her. And then I think about this like connection to this guy and the darkness, the true like darkness around it is, it's wildly disturbing. It's got me a little tilted. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm all right. I love you all.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
I was just going to say that Leo memorialized Robert Redford by saying that he was such a great environmentalist. And I was like, oh, are we still doing this? You're still doing the environmentalism charade?
You're such a liar.
Yes, Robert Redford didn't spend his entire life on yachts like you do. Robert Redford didn't build a fucking diamond foundry that takes up all of the water from a little village and destroys their landscape to build solar farms to fucking power it, If you haven't seen it from a previous live that we did when we found out about the resort in Israel.
Yeah, you can check my YouTube shorts. I gotta get better.
Leonardo DiCaprio is a 10% stakeholder in a resort in Israel. That's the second one that he's built. He had another one on some Caribbean island too. Like, bro, what is this charade you keep doing?
Well, you said it best when we did our little segment on that, which is like an environmentalist divests at the point of, like months ago, whenever this war really began. But, why would you ever get involved in an Israeli business at all? Like, I just don't get it. Like, what's going on there. It's just a shit show. That taking sides is a divisive matter no matter what. Doesn't matter whether or not whether or not you have a side. If you're in the public eye, it's hubris now. He can just go about and do really this is what I mean by this. It's just fucking hubris. This guy knows that he can go out and just do whatever the fuck he wants and then just say whatever he wants. We are lied to on a fucking minute by minute basis in this world today. Donald Trump, whether it's Donald Trump or your fucking favorite actor, they're looking straight into the camera and they're telling you bold-faced fucking lies about their ways. And, some of them might be considered evil. Some of them might be considered deplorable. But either way, there's just no progress for the rest of us. We're all getting stepped on.
I get how it started. Like, I get that he was like, oh, I need some good things, some good stories in the media about me to cover up some of the bad stories, coming out. Like, I get that. That's why he was doing it in the 90s, because he was supposed to be like this bad boy playboy. And he was like, well, if I just donate a bunch of money to environmental causes and I drive a fucking Prius, like, are they going to get off my back? And it worked. But now that he's doing all of these other things, he's like actively contributing to the collapse of environments in all these different locations and then generally the world.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I don't know why he keeps up the charade. Like, it doesn't, it's just,
because he's so invested, like his stands and like
are enough people still believing it that he has to keep doing that?
That's where I'm going. Like his stands, they're similar to like what I'm talking about with Donald Trump and all these other like people who will just bold-faced lie, looking straight into the camera. He's talking to those diehard people, or
the women who are grandmas now, but who were like middle-aged when Titanic came out, and they're like forever, Jack Dawson fans.
You would not believe how young they are, actually. No, not at all. In fact, it's the older ones that he's probably most worried about. And those ones, in fact, from my own experience, this is me dealing with his fans, and I have dealt with thousands and thousands of them over the years, literally like interacting with thousands of his fans. Across the spectrum in terms of ages, we have Kindly DiCaprio with us today, and she's fucking awesome, by the way.
Yeah, you were saying that you talk to his fans more than he does.
I talk to his fans way more than he does. There's no way he's got as many hours in talking to his fans as I do. It's not even close. And by the way, I don't spend my time bashing Leonardo DiCaprio to his fans either. In fact, in many cases, we would reminisce about his the time we spent together and the good times, really. So I've actually contributed to his. Anyway, I won't go on and on about it. Where was I going? I caught something.
We were talking about how Robert Redford was a great environmentalist. That's what we were talking about.
Is that true?
Yes.
Is that true? I didn't know that about him. I knew he was environmentally. I mean, he was an activist kind of guy.
Yep.
You know, you have a little Robert Redford gem for us, don't you?
Oh yeah, I know. This was really funny. I found this today. I think I screenshotted it. Hang on a second.
Yeah, there's this Angela. You know, I love this. You know, the tributes roll in, and I love the ones that sort of bring something light to it, because it's always a heavy thing to go through a major loss in our society and our families, and all the different ways in which we can feel, such a great deal of pain. And the truth is that, these lives that are now gone were oftentimes great and were super fulfilling to the people around them. And I love when those memories kind of bubble up.
I know, it's super fun.
Amidst the sadness, yes.
So this is about Mike Nichols was casting The Graduate. Okay.
He's the director of The Graduate, yes. And if you haven't seen that movie, I implore you to see The Graduate, starring Dustin Hoffman and I think Anne Bancroft. It's fucking absolutely amazing.
So here's the quote from Mike Nichols.
Have you seen it, Angela?
Yes.
Okay, great.
When it came to casting, the problems really began. It should have been easy. Charles Webb himself was a fair-haired, lanky, fresh-faced graduate of Williams College in Williamstown, Massachusetts.
Charles Webb being the
protagonist.
character. Yeah, the protagonist.
And had grown up in a decidedly WASP enclave in Pasadena. Nichols told an enthusiastic crowd at the Directors Guild of America Theater in New York in 2003 at a screening of The Graduate, he said, "I interviewed hundreds, maybe thousands of men. He said he even discussed the role with his friend Robert Redford, who was eager for the part. I said, you can't play it. You could never play a loser." And Redford said, "What do you mean? Of course I can play a loser." And I said, "Okay, have you ever struck out with a girl?" And he said, "What do you mean?" And he wasn't joking. Mike Nichols said, and he wasn't joking.
That's so funny.
He was like, "What? Struck out?
What do you mean? What is that? That happens? Really?
They don't want to date men?
They don't want to? How bizarre.
What is rejection?" Because he's just so gorgeous.
He would have been horrible in that role.
Charismatic.
It couldn't be worse casting.
Of course.
Couldn't be better casting for Dustin Hoffman. But what an insult to Dustin Hoffman.
It's
like an amazing,
this
passive,
dude.
like Dustin Hoffman could play a loser.
Charles Webb was a fair-haired, lanky, fresh-faced graduate.
Nothing like Dustin Hoffman.
No, I know, but that's not Robert Redford either.
Well, it kind of is actually in 19 whatever, yeah.
He's not lanky.
Well, kind of, not really, but
he was like born.
He wasn't square jawed.
He was born a stud.
You know that like super iconic like whatever gif of him in the beard in the woods or whatever. Yeah.
The nodding guy.
Yeah. So that's on a super wide lens, guys. Like people look at that and they're like, "Oh, he's unrecognizable." And well, part of the reason is because that's probably like a 400 millimeter like lens, like just totally fucking at like, maximum fucking.
Because the
zoom.
DP was like across the stream.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a big, it widens the subject out, and the sort of.
Do you know what that's from? The GIF?
I did. I can't remember now.
I don't know either. I don't know when he looked like that. He's handsome.
Connelly DiCaprio says Dustin Hoffman is cute and Robert Redford is not. I don't know how else to explain it, or I don't know how to explain the difference. No, you're right. I mean, it is that, and they're both very appealing in their own right. It's actually baffling to, I think, dudes. You know how dudes are always like, how'd that guy end up with that woman? You know what I mean? Like it's really kind of an even playing ground. When you think about it, like I think women are like, some women at least might be like, I think I'm going to date somebody with like that broad shoulders and big hands, and then the next time they're like, you fuck broad shoulders and big hands, I just want to laugh.
Broad shoulders and big hands. That's really funny. That is a type.
Robert Redford is like Christopher Reeve. You can tone down you can tone down their appeal. You think you can tone down? How do you do? Yeah, I guess you can.
Robert Redford didn't ever not look like a smoke show.
Dude,
it's an impossibility.
That's why, like, Indecent Exposure, if you don't know, because it's not a spoiler, Indecent Exposure is a movie about an eccentric rich entrepreneur played by Robert Redford decides that he wants to sleep with Woody Harrelson's wife.
Yeah.
Demi Moore.
Yeah, and the guy has to be like rich and hot.
So he offers $1 million.
Yeah.
And then they're left with the dilemma of whether or not they should accept. And it's a fucking great movie in my opinion. And I actually think that Robert Redford is just so great in the role. And he's so fucking like crazy drop dead handsome.
Yeah.
That it's like, I would think most women would be like, dude, you don't need $1 million, man.
You don't have to pay
I
me
love
nothing.
you. I love our children, but I'm out. I'm out, even if it's for the night. If you can't handle this, but I'm eating this candy. Good night.
I know it's really tough how like some actors are too good looking. They never get to like, spread their wings, like he could never play like Quasimodo or the Elephant Man or something like that.
No.
Even in monster makeup, they probably would be like, there's something sexy about him.
Right. No, it's true. Like Ray Fiennes or or Ralph Fiennes, whatever you call him, or even Ethan Hawke to a degree, Ethan Hawke, he's kind of scrappy enough where he can easily like slip out of, like he can also play leading guy, but he can slip out of leading guy.
I just saw there was an article about what is his name?
Can't was it? I can't get your name right. Was it say can't be said?
Can it be said?
Oh, can it be said? Can it be said? Were you in the posse? It wasn't called the posse, but yes. I hung around with Leonardo DiCaprio, Tobey Maguire, Ethan Suplee, Kevin Connolly, Lucas Haas, and all those guys. Yes, extensively for more than 2 years. And then they destroyed my life. And so I wrote a book about it, which you heard about today, and which I hope the whole world hears about eventually, because it is extremely salacious. It's also well written. Go ahead, Angela. I'm so sorry.
Nothing. No, let's move on.
I think I need a fidget spinner.
I'll get you in, baby.
My ADHD is fucking
singing tonight.
Cooking. It's just cooking. Where were we? Can it be said? Just totally like rocked my world. I'm really excited about this because I want people to hear about the book, but I'm scared. I'm scared that he's going to come because I'm penniless. I'm going to sue you, Dale. I'll be like, okay.
Okay, but here you are indulging those thoughts again. Do you want to get back on the rails or do you want to get off the rails? No, it's a question.
I want to stay off the rails.
You want to stay on the rails?
I want to stay off the rails. No, go ahead. I'm kidding.
This is a good segue into the topic that we were going to cover tonight.
Great.
SC said pro Baldoni influencers are saying that it is not illegal to defend yourself and are now blaming the legal team for dropping the ball in court. They're predicting a settlement. They've been predicting a settlement from the beginning. There will be no settlement. There will be no settlement.
I love this. So now they're not going to cook her, huh? Now they're not going to skewer Blake Lively. Now Blake Lively's going to settle with them because it doesn't look so good as it used to.
No, yeah, she'll take mercy on them now.
These people are going to look. I mean, there's also a short where I'm screaming into the fucking camera how bad she's making them look. It is not going to get better. Like, it is just going to get worse and fucking worse for every single person who stood by this fucking dude who has, I don't know, he has issues, man. But you didn't have to look far and you didn't have to look hard. All you had to do was listen with your unbiased ears. You had to not care about Blake Lively personally or Justin Baldoni personally to see what was really going on. And it was really funny because people were trying to trying to lure me to the Baldoni side of the story because they thought like his story more closely matches mine. Right? Big movie star comes in, takes his movie from him, tramples all over his work and ruins his reputation.
No, this part is actually really encouraging for us. You're telling a story that they thought would help them prevail in the public eye. They are telling your story because it was advantageous to make him look like that specific victim and her look like that specific monster. Well, you're the real guy that they were saying that they were framing Baldoni as. You're the filmmaker who literally got your film stolen.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
By
it
a
is
big
stolen
movie star.
To this day.
Yeah.
I just had a dude reach out to me from the UK saying, dude, I just bought your movie, bro. And I was like, no way. He was like, yeah, I was in a bargain bin. There was like loads of them. Somebody's making money.
Somebody's selling those.
And you know why there's loads of them in a bargain bin right now? Because Leo has a movie coming out. And every time Leo has a movie coming out, I get a spike in everything that I do. Every fucking time. And that means that those bargain bins sell out or sell a good portion of them enough to, marginally make it probably profitable for them, right? whomever it is that is selling those units.
Whomever
But
it is.
I'm not getting paid.
That's right.
Not a goddamn red cent, and I haven't been paid for 30 years.
This is why
stealing from me every day.
This is why your settlement is broken. Your settlement is busted. It's fucking done for.
Of course.
Because you were guaranteed that you would get a portion of the proceeds for all the business that it did internationally, and that's obviously not happening. Somebody is fucking stealing from you.
Yes, I hung out with David Blaine a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm. Who's asking?
He was a very good magician. I always said that about him.
Do you want to say who you're talking to?
Can it be said, asked if I've ever hung out with David Blaine, and the answer is yes, many times. He blew my mind when he bit a quarter in half, and then like years and years later, after I stopped hanging out with all those guys, I was hanging out with another magician called Keith Barry. He's also a very big magician in the UK, and he found
he's
out
super charming too. I like
he's a lovely guy, and he found out that I was formerly acquaintances, because I wasn't really friends with David Blaine, but I was acquaintances with him. That I was acquainted with him, and he was like, "Yeah, did he do anything that like really blew your mind? Like, was it levitation? Did that get you?" I was like, "The levitation was like interesting to me, but I was like, something's up." And then he showed me how he just like lifted himself up with his front toe arch or whatever, and he showed me how he obscured the angle and everything. And I was like, "Yeah, that looks exactly like he did it." And he was like, "That's how he did it." I was like, "Thanks for debunking that." And then he said, "But I said that wasn't the one that really impressed me. What's really impressed me is that he asked me for a quarter. I gave it to him. He bit it in half." He fucking bit it in half. And I was like, David Blaine, it's superhuman. And then he fucking threw the two fucking pieces in his mouth, swished it around, and spat out a whole quarter again.
What? In his hand? So there's these, like, at the magic stores, they have the quarters that have a little like a rubber band attaching the two halves.
That's right. I did not know about this.
Oh, so he just bent it down?
He just bit it and then bit it in half, and I'm just a fool.
And then he released it.
So the Keith Barry, the Irish magician,
he showed you the prop?
Yeah, he just I felt like so stupid because he had it right. Every magician had one. He was like, "You mean this?" But here's what's so wild about him. He goes, "Well, did he do anything like this?" And then he fucking popped it into there was like an empty bottle of beer. We were at Barney's.
Okay.
You know Barney's.
Barney's Beanery.
Barney's Beanery.
Strangest name for a restaurant. Is it a restaurant?
It's a restaurant. It's a pub restaurant. Pub-style restaurant.
Weird in Los Angeles.
But very popular.
Yeah.
Packed all the time. Fuck, I got so drunk there.
I was in there.
Times.
I was like, do they sell beans? Like, what is it called this for?
So Keith Barry, he takes the thing and he goes, "What do you do with it?" And I was like, "He spit it out whole." And he goes, "He spit it out whole?" Well, then he said, "Really?" He goes, "Spit it out whole." So he spit it out and he goes, this is before he revealed to me what it was. He goes, did he do anything like this? And he took it and he smacked it into my bottle. And then I was like, "Well," and then he goes and he wiggles it in front of me. I'm like, "Oh my fucking God."
Magicians are amazing.
The quarter's in my bottle, which he obviously evidently like had somehow sleight of hand, put it in there and I didn't see. But then he fucking wriggled the bottle and tapped the top of the bottle and it came out the bottom of the bottle. It was just fucking madness, bro. He took David Blaine's trick and he just like turned it over like 8 different ways and just boggled my brain in half. Keith Barry, I know we were talking about David Blaine, but Keith Barry for like that entire, like for 2 straight years that I hung out with this kid every time he came to town, I went to the Kimmel show with him. He did that. He was a fucking gas, bro. He would get stooges in every bar we went to. Fucking putting cards in cars.
Oh, dude, I had a friend who was
taping cards to windows and shit, and then like getting people drunk. Guys like, "Yeah, take me to your car," like, and it's all stooged, And then the guy's like, "Oh," and they throw the cards at the window that's closed, and inside is the card he picked, And that was all stooged out. Like he didn't tell me how he did it, but
it takes so much organization,
unfucking believable, and commitment, bro. And he's made a living off it. I mean, he was on he had a CBS special, and
I had a friend who was trying to impress women by doing magic tricks and stuff. And it works. So I get why he was trying to do it.
Yeah.
I was working at a restaurant at the time and he was like, "Listen, I'm going to give you a card. I want you to put it inside the sugar container." And I was like, "Bro, I can't do that. I literally can't do that. Like that's unsanitary."
Yeah, it's unsanitary.
It's unsanitary.
People
also, what are you
using
going to do? Like open up the sugar and like dump it out on the fucking table to expose the card in there? Like, can you just not, why don't you figure out something else? I'll help you, but figure out like you're doing too much.
The toilet. We'll put it in the toilet if we're gonna do that.
Magicians, bro. They're super fun.
Sorry to digress like that.
No. I love it. You can talk about magicians all the time. I very briefly worked at the Magic Castle in Los Angeles.
I went there for my birthday once.
I was delighted. I was so excited to hang out with magicians.
Yeah, I went there. I had I had a birthday there.
I love that place. I love everybody that works there. It was so great. I ended up having to quit because they have a dress code and I was too poor and I couldn't afford the clothes.
Aw.
Oh, it was fine.
Did they make fun of you?
Huh?
Did they make fun of you?
No.
Oh,
I
here
was just
comes
like,
Angela with the brown pants.
oh, she's wearing the same thing again, like the last time and the time before that. That's fine.
It's good to be poor.
Spending money to make money has never been something I'm a fan of. So I was like, I don't like, look at me. This is how I want to go to work.
Oh my God. Vander Hudson said that I've been reading about you all day. Surreal. Well, it makes me nervous. Why are you guys coming here and making me fucking nervous? Thank you. I think thank you. I'm serious. I'm really losing my. I'm getting.
What does that mean? What's the context of this?
It's happening, Angela.
Vander Hudson.
Well, here's what's
Explain yourself.
happening. The problem that Leo has right now is that if he wants his movie to do well, then my book is going to get talked about. Because in my book, he does the most fucking salacious shit you've probably ever read in a memoir.
No, it's true. You read how he behaved in his friend group, and you will change your opinion of him. Absolutely.
It absolutely, it makes you, I mean, look, we have Connie DiCaprio here tonight. She's still a fan, and I'm glad she still is, by the way. I have no objective whatsoever of, trying to scorn away or chase away Leonardo DiCaprio's fans. I told my story in a book that I think, that I poured my heart and soul into. I had a little chip on my shoulder because I get slapped around for making an improv film. People like say stupid shit like it's a fucking student movie or something. It's just horrible things, insults and so on. All this, of course,
which is so stupid because like student movies are still movies. Like, what the fuck are you saying about
Leonardo DiCaprio?
You're, like, shaming movies
after his Academy Award nomination is in a student film.
Yeah.
Well, we just have to use our head for a few minutes to realize that's garbage and that maybe art films are beyond you. Maybe they're just out of your depth, which isn't even a bad thing. It's okay to be somebody who's more into shit like, and I'm into it all, right? I mean, we just watched Heat, badass, and we just watched The Conjuring, which I really fucking enjoyed. He gave it 3 tiny pineapples. Once you read the book, you'll know what a tiny pineapple means to me. And to us, I guess. Anyway.
Vander Hudson returned with an explanation, said, oh, sorry, LMAO. I meant in regards to Don's Plum. I didn't mean to scare you. I've been reading about you all day, surreal, and that's in regards to Don's Plum.
Well, I'm saying this because like somebody else showed up. I'm just joking around, buddy. And I shouldn't even call you buddy. That's kind of a rude thing to say, isn't it, buddy? Buddy.
Oh, I mean, I guess if you're saying it like
a sarcastic asshole. Yeah. No, I certainly mean to be nice to you. But
what do you mean, buddy?
What do you mean, buddy? My dad, if you called him pal, bad news, dude. Don't call him pal.
Really?
He'd look at you. What was that you called me, man? Like, okay, pal.
What a weird thing to have a chip on your shoulder about.
We had another gentleman, can it be said, he showed up. I'm saying gentleman, I don't even know. But he showed up, or they showed up and said that somebody like whatever, Warner Brothers Productions, I don't know what it is, talked about my book or whatever. And that
there was a London premiere and people in the comment section were talking about your book.
Yeah, that's so
See,
great.
you can't even retain the memory because you're so tilted.
Seriously, you said it. I got tingles in the ends of my hands. It makes my hands tingle. I am terrified because the truth
Dale,
is,
listen, this
if
is
he fucking sues me, which he probably will, then I don't know how to fight that back. It's all the truth, so I just got to go with that and just, I don't know. I'm suddenly Perez Hilton. I'll be like, per se.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
Don't be scared.
Okay. I don't believe you, but okay.
Jupiter is currently in your 9th house.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Okay.
Publishing.
That's international fame. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
And it's applying to a trine to your ascendant. So people are going to start knowing who you are.
Yeah.
For this short period, right?
Yeah.
And then Jupiter is going to go into your 10th house.
You know what's really cool?
Which is going to be your public image.
Yeah. Well, what's really
your
cool?
name is going to be in lights, is what I'm trying to tell you.
You got moxie. Keep it up. You could get somewhere in this business. I really like the idea of people coming around and hanging out with us, though. I really do. Even the naysayers and the shitty people, whatever, I can handle that. It's the coolest thing is that I'm well conditioned. A lot of people might get into this kind of game or whatever and then get slapped around and be like, oh my God, I got slapped around. You can't say anything to me. As long as you're not causing me any kind of physical harms or threats, I'll be just fine. You can do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want.
Did you say stooged out?
Did I say stooged out?
Did you?
What does that mean?
I don't know. Damon Child said, I will henceforth use the phrase stooged out with an annoying regularity. And it's in quotes, so I thought you said it.
I must have, yeah. You know how I get, it's just from the ether. I don't know where the fuck you meant.
Okay.
Yes.
We have a little over an hour left.
Okay, so we got to get to this business.
Would you like to talk about this, or do you want to keep talking about other stuff? Because, whatever, there's no rules.
Listen, while we're talking about this, I'm just going to leave room for anybody to come along and ask anything they want about Don's Plum or about Too Real the book or about anything they want to hear. You want to hear a story or whatever. If you guys are here and you want to hang out and you want me to read like the preface, which is a 2 or 3 minute read, I would be happy to do that.
Well, then let's not do
I'll do
this.
fucking anything to help promote Too Real.
Let's not do this segment if you want to talk more about your book and read part of your book. I don't think that this should be interrupted. You're giving a list of 5 things, and it just seems like that would be really easy to derail if you want to just talk about your book instead. You want to just do that? Because we can pick this up tomorrow.
Well, we'll get it. We'll see how this goes. So Vander Hudson, which, by the way, that's pretty top shelf. Vander Hudson.
Yeah.
DiCaprio was saying that he was a cinephile, and a lot of the comments were split because Don's Plum and saying he meant PDF file. Yeah, well, that's, he's got his reputation. Yeah, I don't know how you can be a cinephile or even look people in the fucking eye and call yourself a fucking artist and do what he did to Don's Plum. What he did to Don's Plum was despicable, and it should be the shame of his career. And I don't think he can do anything any more shameful than what he did to his friends. Not only did he defile my work and for whatever reason, and if you read the book or when you read the book, you'll learn there was no reason for him to fucking hate me ever. None. Not one goddamn reason. But choosing to hate me it's a choice. It sucks for me, especially. But to destroy your own friend's work in the process, to destroy Kevin Connolly's opportunity that took 7 to 9 years before it would turn into Entourage, a spinoff of his own life, right? To just steal the acting career right out from under Scott Bloom. Don's Plum was Scott Bloom's biggest acting opportunity of his fucking life. Don's Plum would have put that man on the map. He was a fucking heartthrob. Women would have absolutely been enamored by him. And he would have had a foundation with which to work. Much stronger than the one that he had playing on his whatever boyfriend role on Who's the Boss or whatever it was that he was on that show.
Who's the Boss? He was a kid.
Whatever it was, I don't know what he was, a cousin, a brother, I don't know what the fuck he played. But he was on Who's the Boss. That was his claim to fame as an actor. And Leonardo DiCaprio took those roles away. He took those performances away, but he didn't just do that. He actually defiled them. Like, it wasn't just that he took it away. This is what I mean with this guy. He's fucking nonstop. He wasn't satisfied with saying no to the film, even though he had already agreed. He had to make the world hate the movie on top of it. And part of that was because he had to justify this despicable act. How can you defame art the way you defame Don's Plum and call yourself an artist? How can you do that? He said in his SAG acceptance speech, as he's bestowing to the actors in the room for his SAG award, the wisdom of his great success was standing on the shoulders of the greats who came before him. And he said, in order to do that, you have to like revile, you have to consume, and you have to love the history of film and protect the history of film. Like, these were the themes of his speech in SAG. You remember? I remember there was this Irish kid who had written this really cool write-up about Don's Plum at the time that got my attention because I have Google tags for this shit. So it got my attention.
At the time of the SAG Awards?
At the time of the SAG Awards. And he tweeted out to Leo and he said, Don's Plum is a part of that very history that you're telling us that we have to,
That's right.
We have to love and respect and admire and uphold and exalt and all these, he said fewer things, but I'm just trying to fish for the one that sounds exactly like he said. But I think you get my point.
And that's the thing is, like, DiCaprio's in a union He's in a workers' union.
Yeah.
And he deliberately destroyed the work of his fellow union members.
That's right.
And he, pretends like that shouldn't affect people's opinions of him.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's not seen as somebody who's dangerous to work with. Because if he's willing to treat his friends this way, why should he treat anybody else any better?
Well, he might be if he was working with anybody that wasn't a giant. He's not going to be dangerous to Martin Scorsese. He's not going to be dangerous to.
He's not going to be dangerous to Martin Scorsese?
No.
Because you said that there was a distributor who went to the Gangs of New York set, and the distributor was happy to report to him that he had already picked up another DiCaprio movie and didn't know about this controversy. Right?
That movie being Don's Plum.
Yep. And you said that DiCaprio said, if you distribute Don's Plum, you will never get another film of mine, including the Martin Scorsese movie. So was he interfering? That's an ultimatum.
Well, let me correct you because that's not what I said. What I said was that a distributor called our sales guy and said that he would tell him what happened, knowing that he will never admit to it if it comes out. But
he's just letting you guys know what happened. Yeah.
But he went to the set. So I got this secondhand from our sales guy, who was very reputable. But we had a $750,000 deal in place with Italy for Don's Plum. So we had a deal for $750,000. It was a very good deal. And then that same distributor showed up and, on the set of Gangs of New York because he also was distributing that. And yes, he said to DiCaprio, according to this gentleman, hey man, I already bought another DiCaprio film, so I'm putting out 2. I'm all in on you. And and that's when Leo said, if you put out Don's Plum, you won't be putting out. So you won't be putting out Gangs of New York.
To me, what that sounds like is that he was saying you either take Don's Plum or you and don't take.
He also said you'll
Scorsese.
never get another DiCaprio film.
Okay, but listen. So how is that not him threatening Scorsese's options for sale in that country?
Because I think
you know what I mean? Like he's making an ultimatum.
I'll answer that. I think he knew that the answer is clear, or what this guy would do would be very easy and clear.
Okay, so he's leveraging a Scorsese
correct.
movie,
That's correct.
and he should be allowed to do that. I'm saying that's
it's
a fucking
awful,
dangerous
obviously.
person. That's he doesn't have the right to be leveraging people's work that way. He's a fucking actor. Do you know what I mean? Like what the fuck?
So sorry, Angela. Kindly DiCaprio said, I'm a Leo fan and a Dale fan and an Angela fan also.
Mm-hmm.
That's so great.
That's great.
What an adorable human being you are. Other people were saying that you and the other guy tricked him, that it was a short film that you guys secretly turned into a feature film. Doesn't that sound ridiculous coming out just as you type it? This is the most stupidest thing I ever heard.
The forensics of that claim are so interesting too.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't until DiCaprio got sued by the producer of Don's Plum.
Yeah.
And then he had to create a countersuit as his defense. That is the first time that allegation ever came. That was his defense for blocking the film. He had to have lawyers game out how he was supposed to defend himself for this thing that's indefensible that he did. So he was like, oh, okay. What if they tricked me? What if these guys were not making a movie after all, and they were only supposed to be making a short film? Like that's the first time anybody ever hears about it.
Yeah. Well, let me just say that in order for somebody to turn a short film into a feature film, a short film. Well, first of all, screenplays are what we use to make films, and screenplays, each page of a screenplay equates to about 1 minute of actual runtime in a movie. So to have a 2-hour movie, you have a 220-page screenplay. To have a short film, a 30-minute, which is typically 30 minutes. I mean, they can be a little longer and a little shorter. But, we'll just say for the purposes of our discussion today, that 30 minutes is a short film. And it's certainly one that we would all have agreed about in 1995. Well, that would have been a 30-page screenplay. The problem is that Don's Plum did not have a screenplay. Don's Plum was an improvised movie. And what we instead did was we wrote out character arcs and story plot points in improvisational segments denoted on index cards that were used during a rehearsal process. And it's through that rehearsal process that we were able to lock down what were going to be the scenes we were going to try to get shot in the limited time that we had. So the truth is we didn't know how long the movie was going to be. We had every aspiration to make the best possible movie we could. and that had to be at a high standard as it relates to art house cinema, particularly micro-budget art house cinema.
So we
weren't going to compare ourselves to the Ten Commandments, but we were going to compare ourselves to things like Clerks, or any other first-time film maker who's working with a sub $500,000 budget.
Okay, so you're saying that it was not defined as a feature film and also was not defined as a short film.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that we really didn't discuss the length. There was a small discussion about the length. We actually spoke about doing it as an hour-long special that we would sell to Showtime, for example. So, I guess you could technically say that that's a short film. I guess you could, and kind of fit within the definition of a short film. But it was, in that case, it was still something that we'd agreed to exploit and sell and distribute. But here's the thing. His agents approved the film.
Yeah.
So even if it's true, and I'll just say that for the purposes of like skill in film, if RD and I were able to take what was supposed to be a short film that was intended to be a short film and actually turn it into a feature film, then RD and I were two filmmakers that you should have, or that the industry should have embraced, because we would be fucking practically genius to do that. The truth is that that wasn't the case, and what we were, and I think still are, is experimental filmmakers. And we had created an experiment that we didn't understand we didn't understand what was going to come of it. We couldn't, because it was an improvisational film. Nobody was really doing it at the time in Hollywood.
I just want to say that there's something that is impossible to reconcile with this story, that you guys made a short film and that you turned it into a feature, and that was some sort of deceitful, duplicitous thing. Okay. It's impossible to reconcile that with the fact that DiCaprio was screened the full feature-length film. Yeah. That he approved of it. That he set up a meeting at his agents at the CAA for you guys to screen it for them. Yeah. They approved of it. Yeah. They took on the project to assist with the sales process. That's so correct. This movie was a feature film, and everybody was on board. Correct. Everybody. Yes. So him saying that there was some sort of controversy about a short film being turned into a feature film had gone away. Any controversy could not have persisted, because he got his agents involved and they started to help you sell your movie. Yeah, I mean, it's just a flat out distraction. It's not true. It was never going to be a short film. There was never a short film cut ever. The smallest cut we ever had was 72 minutes long, and What's the limit for a short film? Well, I think it varies. Nobody really knows. The Academy says 60 minutes or less. Okay. So if it was never shorter than 72 minutes in any of its editing. Ever. No, and it couldn't be. Well, then where is the story coming from? So DiCaprio saw the feature film, which was, what was the final runtime? 84 minutes. Okay, he saw that and he approved it, and he was like, yeah, go take it to my agents. Everything's cool. We had a 72-minute cut and we added 12 minutes, but the 12 minutes that we added it wasn't really added. It was stuff that we didn't get in the first shoot, that we just either missed or we just fucked up. Like, we shot some opening stuff that just was hideous because we were in such a fucking rush, Yeah. So we just needed extra days to go and get the stuff that was written. So it wasn't even newly written scenes, although I actually changed approaches at that point and actually wrote screenplay for the new shoots. Yeah, but you're talking about 10 extra minutes on what's already not a short film. Correct. So, that's neither here nor there, or whatever the saying is. That's irrelevant, is what I'm saying. Asking if we're still blacklisted. I am still blacklisted 100%. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I began Freedom's Plum in 2014 because Angela, who's, this, if you haven't figured that out, that's Angela across from me. Angela, she was hooking me up with I'll call a $1 billion producer. And she brought a project that she loved. You and I just gotten together, and you found out about Freedom's Plum, and you loved it, and you were like, "What else did you do, or what else have you done?" I pitched you a movie that I've been working on for many, many years, and we were just like a concept. You flipped for it. You were like, "I want to see this happen." You put your connections together. You went and you met with this guy, $1 billion producer, big, massive guy, can at the snap of a finger make something as small as what I was doing happen. He loves the pitch. He's like he wants to make something happen. He calls a second meeting. It was in that meeting that you told him who I was specifically, because he asked for a screenplay and you were like, well, this guy's actually experimental, but he knows what he's doing. He made a film called Freedom's Plum with Leonardo DiCaprio. And then this guy put the brakes on everything in that moment.
saying specifically, and I think you should probably say it because I'll fuck it up.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, I've heard of that movie. That I know about that movie. It's a good movie, but I can't work with the filmmakers of that movie.
Yeah.
Right? Your name. I can't work with them because I can't get on the wrong side of DiCaprio."
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is super weird to me because you were obviously like a major, huge player in the industry.
Yeah.
Certainly, you're not taking, marching orders from an actor, like any actor.
It's crazy.
Like this is a project that, Don's Plum wasn't owned by him. Like you understand what the hierarchy is, And I'm like, certainly, like you're not.
Come on, dude.
Like you're more powerful than DiCaprio. And he told me, he was like, no, you don't understand. Nobody is more powerful than DiCaprio.
Yeah. Can you believe my shit fucking luck? Like I didn't even do anything wrong and I ended up making an enemy out of what was, at least for a time and may still very well be, the most powerful actor in Hollywood. He's certainly still one of the most powerful fucking actors in Hollywood, whether I like it or not. And this is a part of why I do get nervous because like I know I'm fucking throwing uppercuts, but hey.
Well, dude, I think that
I'm such a tiny fellow.
I'm starting to learn that I think what they're talking about in terms of power is these fucking publicists, bro. Like, so, this producer is probably like, well, he has the money and the connections with the publicists that they can just like attack me in the press. They can just like ruin my reputation or whatever, like do warfare. He doesn't want his reputation damaged. And this is what I've learned over the last like several years, that the only thing that these super rich people can do to each other, because they have all the money, they've got all the fame, they've got the network, they've got the connections. The only damage you can ever do to some of these like super rich people is to fuck with their reputation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we see that like the Depp v. Heard trial, like the only reason why that was all about reputational warfare between two people. Right. Because they're at this celebrity level. That's the only thing that they can, like, it's not like you're going to sue a major celebrity and like they're going to care, It's like how
it's their everything.
The
it's their
concept
everything.
of like parking tickets don't apply to the wealthy because they're like, oh, okay, whatever,
Yeah.
pocket change.
No, they don't even pay judgments anyway. It's their reputation is their currency.
So I think that this is why I think a lot of the power that these people allow bullies in Hollywood to wield is because they have these fucking like attack dog publicists that are willing to fucking attack people. And then you have to go in a huge lawsuit and air out all your fucking dirty laundry or whatever.
Somebody showed up in one of our chats trying to accuse me of some kind of Me Too shit. Now, it's impossible. I've literally been with like 2 women in 26 years. Do you know what I mean? Like me and Me Too is just never going to go down the same street together.
Yeah, that'd be
I'm
weird.
a highly, I'm a feminist,
Also, having tried to date you
Yeah.
before we were married,
Yeah.
like you're not like
That's not me.
like I had to be like, bro, why haven't you asked me out?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take you out on a date.
No, I mean, the most aggressive thing I've ever done really is put my hand on someone's leg and they didn't like it. it sent my turtle ass head right back in my shell, bro. I was like, whoa, like it was a bad moment. But anyway, they're going to come at me. They're going to come at me with some nasty stuff. I saw them do it in some comments on TikTok, and I imagine the gloves. They probably have a plan. They definitely have a plan. I just don't know what it is. But they have a plan. They know about it. They definitely fucking know about it.
I mean, fucking do your worst, bro.
Dude,
like, what the fuck?
I went and looked at some of the stats, because we sold, decent 4 figures of the book so far. And I went and looked at the stats, and almost 70% of the books have been purchased in California.
Look at your face.
The motherfuckers in Hollywood are like, he what? He what? Like the general public has no idea, but in Hollywood, dude, I already got like messages from like high up managers and shit, like this dude at one of them, I won't say his name on one album, but he's like, damn, bro. I'm like, right? He's like, holy fuck. So I know that Hollywood has been reading this book by the thousands. And by the way, that's like, I'm talking about physical copies. I was in Hollywood when 2 major, like iconic, one arguably the most iconic sort of shorts kind of traveled around town. One was South Park. It was actually at the time called A Jewish Christmas.
Yeah.
And it was a short film at Sundance. I actually saw it while I was at Sundance on a VHS TV combo.
I remember that one. Yeah, Mr. Hanky was in that one.
I fucking
It's like
cried.
the oldest character they
You don't
did.
understand. I mean, you don't understand, like, seeing that for the first time, like, seeing it in a room in a VHS tape to go, like, have you heard about this? No, it's going all over Sundance. It's like, I mean, we saw it in a bubble. And let me tell you, the heaving and the breathing, the lack of being able to breathe. And so I saw, so
you're
South
saying
Park.
that they share everything.
Yeah, they share fucking like wildly. It just travels and it's insular. And so if we sold 500 copies to Hollywood alone, there's probably 2,000 or 3,000 reads on that by now. People are like, because there's some embarrassing shit in there, like straight up whole ass, like 100% like he's going to go into rooms. I hope, my prayer is that people fucking read this book and they know what he did so that when he walks into rooms, he can feel the weight of it, the weight of knowing what he did. It would be at least a little bit similar to the way I felt when I walked into the rooms that he fucking poisoned when he destroyed my career.
No, I know it's true. Like, and you're telling the truth about his conduct that you've been
100%.
keeping, that you, for no reason other than just basic decency, have been keeping secret for a long time, the truth of his real behavior. And he's been poisoning your social connections with all these fucking lies about you. The shit that never even fucking happened or could happen.
Yeah. And by the way, I actually wrote the book because he called me a fucking liar and a thief.
Right.
At the end of a 3-part documentary done by the New York Post.
I don't know why that statement got put out. I feel like his publicists maybe just like had an intern take up
They got all mad for Leo and they're like, I'm just doing it. I'm doing it. I'm not even going to ask.
I know. It was so foolish to call you a liar. You could have sued for defamation.
I literally
right there.
wrote a book because of it.
Yeah.
I literally wrote a 572-page book because that motherfucker called me a liar and a thief. Because there's a couple things I'm not. I'm imperfect to the bone. I'm as imperfect as anybody out there, but I have no malice. I have no hate. I have no hurt in me. Mm-hmm. I have lived sadly a victim's life. Practically from birth, I have sadly lived a victim's life. I am not a perp. It's just not in my nature. I am the guy cowering under the desk. I'm in the corner, man. I would love to sue Leonardo DiCaprio, can it be said? It is my sincerest hope that a lawyer calls up and says, I mean, it would be hard. The only lawyer I would say no to is Brian Friedman. There's only one lawyer I would say no to. I'd be like, not you, buddy. Not you. Well, then again, maybe not. Because he'll just try to destroy him until he like caves.
Do you know, Matteo is asking who got to Giovanni Ribisi, his sister or DiCaprio?
Ethan Suplee.
Ethan Suplee was a mouthpiece.
Ethan Suplee, well, it's all
against
Scientology.
You guys.
All the Scientologists turned on me like that, dude. It was like crazy, bro.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Dude, I was at a Rolling Stones concert and I was in this like sort of celebrity section or whatever. And Juliette Lewis and Michael Rappaport. And like, and these are people that I had known peripherally. Like I didn't really know them all that well. I did some like a little dirty dancing with Juliette Lewis one night that caught whatever, what do you call it? Triggered all the fucking Scientologist alarms. They were like, oh, because I was a known,
substance user, and you can't in Scientology.
And you can't in Scientology. So like there was intervention immediately. Like she and I were like all fucking boom, boom, boom on the dance floor, and then fucking Ethan Suplee and Danny Masterson were like, whoa, 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 get out of here! They fucking stopped it. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Because oh my god, she was fine, and I would have hit that shit all night. That's all I can say about that. And it was like, I got shut down. Well, I was a kid. What do you mean? What you said? You
don't
said
say it like that.
What do you mean? You said fucking De Niro could get it in the middle age. Why is that different?
I did say that.
All right. Well, can we have an even field here?
I was a little less graphic than what you said.
Yeah, Michael Rappaport can fucking suck it, dude. That guy sucks so much. He treated me like shit. And this fucking guy, he was like Kevin Smith too. Kevin Smith treated me like trash. And like for what? None of these people even knew me. And it's a part of what drives me crazy about this whole Baldoni thing and people showing up. It's why I constantly ask people, why do you hate this person you don't know? Because it is the biggest curiosity that I have to live with. I live with people who hate me. They don't know me. They don't even know what happened to me. They don't understand anything about my life or my experience at all. But yet they are filled with ire for me. Why? It's truly a mystery. I'm actually I'm a pretty likable guy in the end, really. I mean, if you hang out with me long enough, I might get annoying like everybody else or whatever. I have my bad days. I got the days where I got the headaches. I got the whatever. But generally speaking, I'm kind of fun. Just ask Angela.
Fun. Yep.
She knows too, man. She knows fun, bro. I'm telling you. She knows all about it. Oh, Lord.
Cosmic Urgency wants to know if you've heard about Jimmy Kimmel.
What did he do?
I guess his show got pulled or something.
Did it?
Well, I don't know. Have you heard about it? Do you want to look it up?
I'm going to look it up right now.
Cosmic Urgency brought it up and was wondering.
It makes me want to.
Is asking.
It makes me want to leave.
If we covered it.
It makes me want to leave America. That's what that makes me want to do. Like, it's like, we don't have a political show, but that's like wild. Let me see.
Well, you don't know the reason. I mean, maybe he sucks.
I mean, I guess,
I don't know.
Well, you make a good point because like late night television is not pulling numbers.
No. Everybody's watching their streaming services
Yeah,
instead of
people
tuning into fucking
who's watching that?
network TV.
You know who's watching that is the people with all the Sky TV boxes in all the different rooms.
The satellite dishes.
The dish TV.
Yeah.
It's the guys with all the dish TVs. You know, the guys like they call the handyman to move the satellite in a different direction. You got to move it more southerly. You know what I mean? It's got to be more southerly. When it's southerly, I get HBO and Showtime. Let me get this here.
Do you see it?
No, not yet. I'm going there. Hang on. I also have a headache.
We're not going to do the 5 things tonight, huh?
I don't know. We might. We still have lots of time.
Is it enough time, though?
I don't know.
I'm going to just push it till tomorrow. Watch something big is going to happen tomorrow.
Right, exactly. Well, 80%.
You don't see it?
I'm looking. No, I haven't found it.
I mean, it would show up if it was big news, right? When you first look for him.
I don't see it yet. Oh, you know what? I will check at this source.
You got to check all your sources.
I got to check all my... Guys, I won't reveal them, but I'm going to check my sources.
That was so funny.
I'm a journalist, after all.
All the Baldoni content creators.
Oh, he's been suspended.
Why? What did he say?
Over Charlie Kirk
He made a joke?
things he said about Charlie Kirk. We won't play them. He said, we hit some new lows over the weekend with the mega gang desperately trying to characterize this kid as anything other than the one of them doing... he said something really bad, so they suspended him. And then they'll give him an excuse to fire him. I will say that... Here's what I'll say about this, Cosmic Urgency. Thanks for bringing it to our attention, because this is fairly new news. Yeah. I posted here at 4. You know what I'm doing it for? I'm making thumbnails.
Like a boss.
Here's what I'll say about Charlie Kirk. One of the reasons why I'm not really interested in talking about it is because...
Yeah, don't say anything about him.
Well,
I mean,
no,
obviously, like, there's people are trying to, have consequences for if you fucking talk about him.
Yeah, well...
Like, it's just so weird how...
I wanted to say what I was going to say, though.
Okay, go ahead.
If you don't mind.
Yeah.
What I want to say about Charlie Kirk is that there are some things that are better left for the others to talk about, and particularly if you don't have any fucking cards or you don't have any, you're not at the table. Like, I have nothing to say about that person individually. I didn't like subscribe to any of his stuff. I don't subscribe to any of his ideology. He was just never of any interest to me. So I think that, it's like, it's the same thing. There are just certain topics that you're just better off staying out of. And sometimes even comics have to turn away. I think that the one thing about this sort of this idea of a fascist takeover in America is that I think you have to pick your fights. I don't think you can just decide that everything is a fight, because there are... I
can see why it's like kind of a trap that's easy to stumble into, because everybody who is trying to control everyone's speech about this guy were also the same people who were calling him a free speech hero. So it's like, which is it? Like,
well, yeah.
Do you want everybody to speak freely about their controversial opinions, or do you not want everyone to speak freely about their controversial opinions?
This is where you get yourself in trouble, though. Like, if you start getting into that argument, then you start getting into the idea that, you're right in thinking and believing that you should have those rights, and you do, at least that's the idea. But again, the problem is, especially now, is that if you take a position on something where there's built-in controversy, because here's what we can say about Charlie Kirk's incident. It was horrific. It's indelibly impressed on my mind, in my memory. I said that it'll live in my memory in the same way that I watched a guy unalive himself on TV in Los Angeles in the 90s when completely unbeknownst. I was just watching and there was like, oh, what the hell is this? And a chopper. And then this guy unalives himself in a gruesome way.
It changed network programming forever. Ever since then, they always had a delay on the live cameras of like car chases and whatever.
So his, so that's it. I think that like when it comes to Charlie Kirk, I think we have to think about the horror of it all. I think we have to ask ourselves if this is is this the society we want? I think we can ask ourselves these existential questions and do our best to try and grow, maybe as a group. But I think if you're going to get in and start talking dirty about somebody who had that done to them, you're going to get yourself in trouble. I can disagree with Charlie Kirk's ideology and not comment on anything that has to do with this horrific event and not leave the fact that it's horrific out of the conversation. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want that to happen to anybody. I'm not interested in seeing it. It has, as I said, been indelibly impressed on my life. So, I think that people like Jimmy Kimmel and anyone who wants to stick their sort of foot in that trap, they're going to get it caught, because it's just too incendiary a topic. And, he had 8 million followers. So, don't piss off the Swifties and don't piss off the Charlies. I guess that's about all I got to say about it. I really hope his family can heal from it, because I can't imagine living through such a horrific thing.
Mateo has a good question.
Yeah.
This is a different topic.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Great.
Do you feel like there are similarities with what happened, similarities to Baldoni's claims?
Okay.
Okay. With what happened with American History X and Edward Norton apparently stealing the movie from the director?
Well, no, I know that's not true. Like, so yeah, there are similarities. And the similarity is that Edward Norton didn't steal shit from the director at all. So let me explain how this works. When you're a director, I think a lot of people, when they think director, they think about guys like Spielberg and Martin Scorsese and, all the big giants. We can go through them. And there's the art house guys, whether that's, the decrepit Woody Allen, or whether it's, Mike Leigh, the great Mike Leigh out of the UK. These are the kinds of directors I think a lot of people think about when they hear the word director. And these directors do, in fact, have control over their cuts. But when you get into movies that are made by studios, for studios, so either even if you're a production company and you're bringing a commercial movie with distribution or for distribution, more often than not, the distributor will have some say in the cut, because they got to take it to market. So if your cut contains things that they think will, depreciate its opportunity in the marketplace, then they're going to push back and ask for changes. And also with studios, more often than not, directors' cuts are not the cut that makes it to the screen. That is exactly why we have director's cuts in the first place.
Right. We
have them because studios do their cuts, and then later the directors get to correct the cut and put it out. So in Tony Kaye's case, he made a studio movie.
In American History X.
American History X. And he loved his cut, like all directors do. And he wanted his cut to go to screen. And Warner Brothers said no. I think it was Warner Brothers, wasn't it? The studio said no. And then Tony Kaye he had a meltdown. He had a public meltdown about it. Even in the 90s, when it was much harder to do than today.
Yeah.
So much harder to do that he had to spend a bunch of money to do it. He took out full page ads.
Because there wasn't the internet.
In the Daily Variety, throughout an entire week or longer, where he pleaded with the cast to side with him and convince the studio to go with his cut. Edward Norton had nothing to do with that. Maybe Edward Norton didn't like his cut. That could have been entirely possible. And Edward Norton may have voiced that opinion to the studio, and maybe the studio agreed. But the studio is making that decision. Edward fucking Norton is not making that decision. Blake Lively is not making that decision. But that doesn't stop Blake Lively or other creative people involved from making suggestions about the cut when the studio's sitting there humming and hawing over it. And again, to go back to my earlier point, if Justin Baldoni had a cut that was a higher scoring cut than Blake Lively, but contained questionable material, or the material was cut in such a way as to put out like a vibe or something that they felt, the studio, might in some way negatively affect the marketing, or might get bad feedback, or might be glorifying domestic V, or whatever it might be. There may be so many reasons why they might take a seemingly on paper better cut and go with a lesser scoring cut because it's more marketable, which means it's more profitable. Now, you have to believe they know what they're doing when they take a $26 million budget movie and turn it into a $340 million box office.
Yeah.
That's some kind of fucking crazy skill. That's some kind of magic, man. So they know what they're doing. And that's why we have a situation where cuts are often taken away from directors. And they'll always be taken away from a director, even the fucking big ones. Martin Scorsese has had cuts changed on him. Greats like Bernini from Italy, his fucking director's cut of 1900 is 9 hours long.
Oh, are you serious?
And I watched it on a Sunday with Artie Robb.
So the studio cut is how long?
3.
Wow.
Little under 3. I saw that one at New Bev. So
was
the
it
point
good?
Is, it was fucking. I love that movie.
The 3 hour.
Depado.
The 3 hour one.
Yeah. Well, both of them. I love them both. The other one is so epic. I spent an entire day watching one movie. It was.
I would do that.
Such an amazing.
That sounds like a great time.
It was. We weren't. I was like, don't even pause it at some point because it was like life was just happening. It was like the film was life.
That's neat.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Okay, so I got this question wrong.
Oh.
Matteo was saying.
Oh, God damn it.
No. That's all super relevant, and also, it's comparable to your film too. So Matteo was actually asking, do you feel there are similarities with what happened with Don's Plum, and with American History X and Edward Norton apparently stealing the movie from the director?
I don't know. There was the studio owned the movie. There's no stealing the movie from the director, and I think that's so. It just goes back to my original point. So you're right. The answer is really basically the same.
Yeah.
The directors don't have the fucking power you think they do. Writers, directors have more power.
The problem with
Wayfarer should have had more power because they were the studio and they financed the movie.
It's American History X versus your movie comparison.
Yeah, see, Don's Plum was an expression of complete freedom. What makes Don's Plum so special in many ways is because Don's Plum is untainted. It was uninterfered with. We in the book, there's a moment in the book where I'm like, where we make a decision. We have to make a decision so to keep the agents out of it, because before we're actually filming it. Because if the agents get in before we film it, they'll try to tear it apart.
So you're saying that Ed Norton did not steal American History X from the director?
No way.
Leonardo DiCaprio did steal Don's Plum from you guys.
Yes.
You're saying that generally with studio films, an actor would never be able to pull off a movie theft.
No, look, they might have
because it's a studio production and it's the director is answering to the studio also. But in your film, it wasn't a studio production.
So a movie star like Leonardo DiCaprio or Edward Norton or any of these guys, they might be able to get notes in, and they might be able to get and rally support from other filmmakers and or studio executives to rally behind some of those notes and make changes. And they might be able to do that at the script level. They might be able to do that at the production level. They might be able to do that at the marketing level, because the stars, the major stars in every motion picture play a major role. And I think that this is when we talk about the Baldoni case, we can actually show their inexperience here, because they've never worked with A-list talent before. But when A-list talent is in town, they got a fucking say. They got a very big seat at the table. And so I think that was something that it is entirely likely that they weren't prepared for. And the only reason I say entirely likely is because everything about their production, from what I can read, is just amateur hour. Even including watching, if you got, we did the Horny Corral episode the other day, and the direction going down by the AD and the idea of this orchestrated scene for literally 2-second clip of a montage was practically laughable in terms of just watching it go down. It was just like taking your job way too fucking serious.
Yeah, that was weird.
Having deep conversations about a 2-second MOS
I know
clip in a fucking montage.
I think he wanted to, for some reason, he was like fixated on kissing her. And the longer that she prevented him from kissing her.
This is exactly true.
The longer he had to keep filming.
Correct. I believe that he was just trying to get some.
Instead of being like, okay, stop. We are not aligned on this. Let's get aligned.
Right.
What is it? Here's what I want to happen. And if you don't want that to happen, like, let's sort out how we can, compromise. or whatever. So you're not uncomfortable, and I'm not wasting all of the crew's time shooting for 10 minutes trying to get a kiss.
And they were also shooting and shooting and shooting. They should have just shot
weird.
with like actual shots in mind, and then shot them for a few seconds, like a half
So
minute,
weird.
like a half minute, and then do another setup.
I know.
And if you're not going to do another setup, then do the one, and then if it's a print, which is obviously going to be called by the AD. The AD is going to call, or the DP, either director of photography or the first AD is going to say, hey, that's a print. We're going to go with that. And then they're going to do, then they'll do one more for safety. They should have just done 2 real quick takes. And people were like, oh, there was only 3 takes. They were fucking 12-minute takes for a 2-second MOS clip in a montage.
I know.
I mean,
it was super, super bizarre.
so I don't think that these guys, I think these guys were talented. I think that they fucking, man, I don't know, they had a horseshoe up their ass with the luck they put together. I think the luck and the property and the way the stars just seem to align for them in every possible way. So I'm not trying to discredit them entirely, because they're obviously incredibly successful, including It Ends With Us. But I do think that It Ends With Us was this step up that they weren't prepared for. And that's why Blake Lively found the opportunity she really did find, which was like, holy shit, these guys are going to fall apart. And by the way, when I bring that up, it's interesting because I think most people try to like characterize that as Blake Lively swooping in and taking over the movie. When if you actually look at the evidence, she brought in another producer, a very highly regarded producer in Producer Black. What was his first name?
Todd Black.
Todd Black, thank you. I think he's Academy Award nominated. Like, he's just he's a big deal.
Yeah, he has a first look deal at Sony.
He's got a first look deal at fucking Sony.
I know.
So to bring a guy in like that, that's her saying, hey, I'm not your woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got part of this. I can hold up this. I got T Swift over here. I'm great in an editing room, but I don't know if I can guide this whole fucking ship to the end. So it's not just that Blake Lively was there to pick up the pieces of what was a botched production by Wayfarer, but that they actually brought in a guy like Todd Black?
Yes.
Todd Black to truly hold it together. And like we did that on Don's Plum. I mean, we didn't have a Todd Black because we're just a little indie film, but we had Gary Lowe come in the 11th hour because our producer was dropping the ball, right? And I was producing creatively. My entire focus was on Artie Robb, the actors, the camera, the story. That's where my attention was. I had no qualifications to run a crew. It was my first film. It's wild shit, man. For your consideration. This is like the studio raw.
Vander Hoodson is asking, are you and RD friends? He was on a podcast with someone called Margie Haber and was very vague about Don's Plum. I looked up Margie Haber has an acting podcast. She's an acting coach. She has an acting studio where she teaches lessons on La Brea. And apparently she has a podcast and had RD on.
Oh, that's so nice. Maybe he's a student of hers. Are we friends?
I don't know who asked whether he brought it up or she brought it up, but apparently he was vague about Don's Plum. And that's just the saddest thing.
Yeah.
He should be so proud of his accomplishment. That should have been the first film in a long career of next films. And it's just so awful what they took from him.
I'll always love Artie Robb. I think Artie Robb will always love me. Are we friends? Probably not. I mean, in 2014, when I put out the open letter, that was a problem for RD because, I was poking the dragon. And then in 2015, when the letter blew up and hit the front page of Reddit, and then got picked up by The Guardian and People and all these other magazines, that's when RD and I really started talking very minimally. No, we're not friends anymore, I guess.
Would you want to be?
Yeah, I mean, I love the little fucker, man. I do. I do. I love the little fucker.
What do you mean
man.
little? He's real small.
Yeah, he's a small guy, whatever. I call him a little fucker all the time. He calls me names.
What do you mean by little?
He's small in stature.
He's shorter than you, is what you're saying.
Yeah. It's not an insult, though, because he's like the biggest little guy I ever met. He really is, dude.
He's got big personality.
Fuck, he's strong as fuck, too. Man, dude, we were in CrossFit. That guy was throwing weight.
That's awesome.
He's a beast.
Well, maybe you should reconnect.
Yeah, well, who knows what's going to happen, dude. His mom isn't well portrayed in the book either, so. But, you know, look, the Robs weren't really kind to me either. You know, they really weren't. I became the scapegoat, you know. I became the scapegoat because well, you got to read the book. Fucking spoilers, bro. You just want spoilers all night? I should read you I'll read you the preface if you're still here at the end of the live.
You could do it now.
Should I?
Yep.
All right, I'll read the preface right now. All our regulars are like, God damn it, bro. How many times? Will you go grab my glasses real quick?
Yes.
I'll read the preface. And then, maybe that'll help you decide whether or not you want to give it your time. The cool thing about this book, though, is that this book is my book out there? Because I don't want to like break the seal on this one. Is my scrappy old book there? Oh wait, I got it here. Never mind. Yeah. Thank you, Angela. I guess I should probably just keep glasses in here for these kinds of occasions. I have to get my old man glasses on, people. Let me tell you, the worst part about aging is definitely, for me, short-sightedness. All right, this is Too Real, a Hollywood memoir. And this is the preface. Everything in this book is true. I did not seek the opinions of lawyers, publishers, publicists, or agents before publishing Too Real, because telling my story without restraint or legal whitewashing mattered more to me than any so-called protection that they may have offered. The story in this book is my Hollywood experience completely uncensored, and I'm entitled to it. I do not fear litigation from anyone because I have only written what is true and not a word of it with any ill intent. If anyone is displeased with the way I've portrayed them, perhaps they should have behaved differently. Separate from the facts, the opinions in this book are my own, and I've done my best to distinguish them from each other to avoid conflation. I've combined some events and conversations for the reader's sake, but every major event in this book happened as described and without embellishment. If anything, I have toned down some of the events in order to remain focused on their purpose in the story. I've changed a couple of names, including that of TV star Emily Foster. If Emily wishes to come forward with her perspective, she can, but I will never share her name publicly for reasons explained best within the book itself. I wrote a lot of dialogue for this book, but I approached it much differently than I do fiction. When I was deposed in Stutman v. DiCaprio, the lawyers asked about conversations from our past, and I was hesitant because I was under oath and I couldn't possibly be sure of exactly what everyone had said. So one of the lawyers explained the legal understanding of the term sum and substance. He said, the dialogue I provide in my sworn testimony isn't meant to represent exact quotes, but rather the spirit of the conversation and what was said by each person. The dialogue in this book represents, to the best of my ability, the spirit of the conversations I witnessed and I participated in. I did my absolute best to represent each person as authentically as possible and with every respect for their character, but this is certainly a book from my perspective, and that includes the dialogue I've written for all of the people who appear in it. In 2019, the New York Post published a 3-part documentary series called The Curse of Duns Plum, in which I sat for a long interview. In response to the series, Leonardo DiCaprio's publicist made a statement publicly calling me a liar and accusing me of, quote, an effort to gain publicity and unlawful financial gain. Both statements were deliberate lies, clearly meant to damage my credibility and reputation. Leo and his representatives have never had access to my finances and could not have known anything about my sources of income. They just made up a lie and they put it out in the world with impunity because they've got an endless flow of money and influence to fight off or buy whatever they need to escape accountability. Their lies inspired me to write this book, and it's been an arduous journey. But after 4 years of combing meticulously through my archive and digging deep into my memories, I ended up creating something much more than a candid response to a bully. I wrote a book about the tenacity of our dreams and the enormous will we possess to keep them alive, and I'm proud to share it with you now. That's that. Listen, it's a good book. I'm proud of it. I think, if you ask some folks,
you should be proud of it.
They'll tell you the same. It's a good book. And it's a hell of a read. I mean, it takes you all the way to 1995. 1995. And it's a good time. It's not, and the interesting thing about this book, I think, is that you don't walk away from it with an entirely bad taste in your mouth at all. Wouldn't you agree, Angela?
Oh, yeah. Kindly DiCaprio said, I heard a podcast of you, and Artie's mom called you in the middle of the podcast.
Yeah. She butt dialed me.
Yeah. Oh, she did?
No. What happened was
she didn't mean to.
No, that's not true. She didn't butt dial me. She called. It was heartbreaking, actually. That was like a heartbreaking moment for me. She was calling my ex. and her, she's, aging, and her brain was like Dale and pushed it instead of Angela. My ex's name is Angela as well. That's a different story entirely.
That's a weird thing that happened.
A whole other story. My brother is married to Angela as well.
When Dale and I started dating and I told him my name, he had a reaction. He was like, no way.
Yep. I was like, I just separated from a woman with that name.
That your brother's married to one too.
And my brother is married to one.
Really weird.
I have a cousin named Angela. It's all over the place, that one. Anyway, I hope that answered your question. Oh, that wasn't even a question, was it? I hope you guys didn't mind me reading. I hope that wasn't too...
No, I love it. I think it's so great. It tells the whole story that needs to be set up before you get into the book. And this is one of the reasons why I think you're right about if people are reading it at all, they're sharing it. Because I think that the most astonishing thing when you're reading your book and all of the very salacious things that happen, is the memory of that of your statement where you're like, all of this is true, and they know, especially in Hollywood, like they know you're not going to be able to publish something unless you're telling the true story.
You know what's funny about this live is that just prior to my reading the preface, I was talking about how I'm terrified that I'm going to get sued because I have no money and I don't know how I'll fight. And then I'm reading the premise and I'm like, I do not fear litigation.
Well, you don't though. Why should you?
I'm all emboldened. You're
not doing anything
It's just
wrong.
so funny when you're like sitting at your computer and you're like, I'm bigger than all of you fuckers. I got the truth and I got that truth.
I know. But when it comes out of your mouth, it's a little like beep.
Yeah. And then you're like, now I'm literally sweating over the fact that people are talking about it, amidst the release of his movie. But I love that I released this book a year before his movie came out and I did the same thing with the open letter. I've never interfered with a release of his film ever.
Right, because you're not a fucking monster that would do that kind of thing.
No, it's not. It's
only he is.
I purposely avoided it.
He's the only kind of person that would do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Fucker. The reason why I get all bent out of shape about this, I'm not obviously not involved in the making of that movie, but at that time when this movie was going to be released, it was 1997, where you guys were ready to complete the movie because of all of DiCaprio's fucking shenanigans and what we all believe is illegal behavior. It was the release of the film internationally was postponed to 2001, but in 1997. It would have come out in this grouping of other independent films that were so iconic. It would have fit perfectly right in. And at the time, I was a teenager.
Yeah.
And I would have just eaten it up with like both hands. It would have been like, I feel like the movie that you made would have made its mark on me and my friends in a way that would have changed us and our perspective of film, at least. The thing that I feel like is the biggest loss for us was that you made a movie about a bunch of friends that hang out in a diner. At that time in my life, I was working the graveyard shift at a 24-hour diner where all of my friends would come in and occupy a booth all night. You made a movie about us.
Yeah.
And they took that from me. So, like, I take it personally. I think that's fucked up. And I'm not the only person who lived that life in the 90s, as a teen. Like, this is just what everybody did. None of us had any fucking cell phones. None of us had, like, the internet that we could fucking park in front of all day. It was like we were always just, like, going to the diner all night long, drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes, and talking shit. And that you guys exalted that experience and turned it into a film that we could see our life on the silver screen would have been so impactful, and they fucking robbed that of every kid like me in America, and it's a fucking crime.
It should be. Can it be said as asking if it's true, or saying if it's true, then he can't sue you, but he can sue, and he can try to choke out every dime that I might make off the book, for example, in legal fees. Because they when you Angela talked about earlier today, how if parking tickets aren't commensurate with somebody's wealth,
they don't affect
relative
the wealthy.
to the wealth, then they'll just leave their car in the spot and not care because they'll just pay the $110 fine all day long because it's like putting a dime in the fucking piggy bank or whatever. Mm-hmm. So suing me would just be something procedural in the same way that we see with Baldoni and Blake Lively. We know now, without doubt, that Brian Friedman filed a $400 million lawsuit, not because he felt like he had any validity or but rather to use it as a means to disparage and smear the litigants.
Yeah.
So, that's another example of how litigation is a tool used to embarrass, used to change narratives. It's not about truth. And that's the saddest part about it. It doesn't matter if it's true. It's always been true. The story I told when I did my deposition was true. The story I told DiCaprio that night at Kevin Connolly's was true.
No, but you're right. Like, they could just take a liberty with that. Like, they're DiCaprio and Maguire's countersuit, where they named you, when the producer of Don's Plum sued them and they filed a countersuit.
Yeah.
None of the stuff that they were alleging in their countersuit was true. You guys did not turn a short film into a feature.
No, it's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
So it's just like they can just sue for whatever the fuck they want. It doesn't matter if it's true or not.
By the way, just so you don't whether you read the book or not, let me just tell you that Leonardo DiCaprio showed up for a screening of Don's Plum, the feature film, which was replete with main titles and end title credits. It had a temporary music a soundtrack. I mean, it was a full director's cut. We did it at MGM Studios. We did it in the presence of nearly our entire cast and crew, and even a couple of select guests from distribution companies and possibly agents. And Leonardo DiCaprio loved it. He jumped out of his seat, smacking the ground, laughing. And there was tension between us at that moment. It's best expressed by the book itself than I could, hear tonight. It's a long story. Not a long story per se.
No, it's a really good story.
Highly entertaining story. It actually moves very quickly, but it's too long for our little short conversation here. And anyway, Leonardo DiCaprio approved it. No, he approved it. He was like, dude, I gotta send you to my agents. He set up a meeting with his agents, Adam Vennett, Rick Yorn, Beth Swafford, Ken Parks. These were all people present at Creative Artists Agency, arguably the biggest agency in Hollywood, certainly at the time. But even today, all you got to do is watch the Emmys or Oscars, and all you'll hear is, I just want to thank my agents at CAA. I want to just thank my agents at CAA. They run the town.
I know.
He sent us there, movie in hand, to get their approval. They had a private screening there. I was at the screening with Rick Yorn, with Adam Vennett, with Beth Swafford. They fucking flipped for the movie. They loved it. Beth Swafford in particular, who is now probably CAA's highest ranking lit manager or lit agent. She thought it was genius. She thought Don's Plum was genius. Literally, she was like, you guys have created something so special. It's so visceral. It's so raw. It also has satire. It has all these crazy other elements to it. I mean, she really got it. So they were all about it. They loved it.
I'm trying to find her title, but it just says that she's a talent agent at the CAA.
Who, Beth Swafford? Mm-hmm. She sure is. Talent?
It says talent agent, also motion picture agent.
Yeah, she's like a IP agent mostly, but maybe she went to talent.
Art collector and CAA partner, Beth Swafford.
CAA partner, so she made partner in this.
Yep.
Yeah, so she's a big giant deal. She loved the movie, bro. It was really exciting and pretty fucking. It's pretty cool when
that was a good day, huh?
Oh my god, dude! One of the best days of my life, dude.
Yeah.
When they came out of the room and they're like, we loved it. I thought they hated it, dude.
I know, dude. And it's like, and I was out there in the world, like, ready to receive your movie. At that moment, it was coming to me.
But so to go back to that, that is to say that if Leonardo DiCaprio that night at MGM Grand had said, guys, I'm proud of you. You did a great job. I don't think I'm going to let this thing go.
Yeah.
Then we would not have released it because we had an agreement with him that if he felt as though this movie could embarrass him in any way, that we wouldn't release it.
That's why you showed it to him.
That's why we showed it to him. That was what that purpose of the screening was. The reason we stacked the screening was because we knew we had a really good movie going. And so we wanted him to have the best possible experience because Leonardo DiCaprio is a cinephile. Like, to be sure, he loves movies. At the time of our screening, the tension between us was pretty tangible at that point. And it was tense.
That's amazing.
And he showed up at that screening and we were on the brink. of a fucking breakdown in our friendship over the film. A long story short is he was going to Juliette Lewis's birthday that Friday after he had already committed to this screening that we had set up for months. But he had forgotten that he had Juliette Lewis's birthday and that was in Las Vegas. And so he was going to blow us off for this screening to go to Juliette Lewis's birthday.
That is how little it mattered to him.
Yes.
Like, this is what I have to, like, it wasn't that you guys, like, you know, tricked him or something. And he was, like, pissed off from the start. And he had this, like, long, prolonged battle with you. Like, he literally did not fucking care about this movie. And then you finally, like, so much that he was going to blow off the screening that he had long awaited for.
Yeah.
He needed to know what this movie was about because whether it gets released or not relies on his perspective of it, his opinion of it.
Yeah.
Whether he approved it. So when you finally got him to the screening, and he did, you know.
Yeah, so some shit went down.
Everything was fine. Everything was great.
Some shit that went down. I'll leave it to the book for that. But some shit went down, and he was like, "Fine, I'll be at the screening." He comes to the screening, pissed off at us because he's missing Juliette Lewis's birthday, and that was the thing that really had him pissed off. Like we interfered with his life at that point, so he was mad, and so that it turned into
it was
him.
a Variety article, babe.
No, that was certainly a big part of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into it. Okay.
Okay.
I'm leaving that for the book. He was also very upset that he wasn't at Juliette Lewis's birthday. Trust me, he told me so.
No, I know. I'm just.
He ended up leaving from the screening and got on a jet and went to Vegas that night anyway, but he was obviously very late. His attitude toward Don's Plum and toward everything turned 180 degrees in that moment. He absolutely loved the film and supported it, and then he sent us to his agents. So we had, and then again, so at his agents, any one of his agents, either his agent, his manager, or his lawyer, who was also there, Steve Warren, any one of those people could have walked out of that screening, turned to us and said, "I'm sorry, guys. We can't support this movie at this time. Maybe we can revisit it down the road, but for now, this is unfortunately not going to come out." And we would have lived with that horrible decision, and it would have crushed me. But that was the agreement we had. Instead, Leo approved, Leo's agents approved, and then they did take backsies after Tobey Maguire came in and burned the whole thing down.
This is a really interesting comment. Mateo is with us, said Leonardo DiCaprio's favorite movie is apparently Citizen Kane. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Because Citizen Kane, very famously, was going to be blocked before it was released.
Yeah. Hearst, what's his first name?
William Randolph Hearst.
William Randolph Hearst. The movie was a satire about him.
No, it wasn't.
Or not a satire.
He was convinced it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Well, okay.
See that book right behind you?
I know.
I read it and I dog-eared like a million pages because it's so similar to the story of you guys making Don's Plum and having a fight with your big movie star. So William Randolph Hearst, that's his name, right? Am I getting it wrong? Am I mixing my big celebrities?
Yes, Leo and I hung out one-on-one. Yes, he was nice.
Okay, never mind.
Say that again. Just say it again, Angela.
I was just talking about how it's just ironic that his favorite movie is Citizen Kane, and he was almost the villain of that. He's very similar to the villain of Citizen Kane.
Yeah, he's more similar to Hearst than he is to
Yeah, like that movie almost didn't exist because somebody like Leonardo DiCaprio, who behaves like Leonardo DiCaprio, thought that he had the right to block Orson Welles' movie.
He tried to block production. He tried to block release.
Yeah.
He failed at every level and ended up making one of the most iconic and important movies of all time. It's interesting that his favorite movie is Citizen Kane. I think I saw Citizen Kane with him. I bet you I did.
Would you hold up that book? If anybody's interested in this book is absolutely excellent. I totally recommend it. But anyway, it's all dog-eared. I mean, I've got all these like notes on it. But yeah, so the similarities are really astounding. That's really incredible. You know, I feel like he doesn't think, man. Because for sure, if you're a champion of this movie, you recognize how toxic and destructive people are when they try and destroy great independent artwork.
I need praise for the back of my book. They have praise here. Crammed with behind the scenes details, LA Times. I guess that's like is that a selling point? I would want that to, like, for my book, be like crammed with balls and dicks. No, I won't.
Your book is crammed with balls and dicks, though. There are so many in your book. It's absolutely crammed with them.
They're everywhere. Penises are everywhere. Run for the hills.
It's really funny.
Save yourself. Oh, Lord. What else you got?
Kindly DiCaprio said that you should send the book to DiCaprio's girlfriend. She seems very nice.
Is she old enough to read?
Dale, come on. She seems to be very nice and good of heart and could talk to Leo.
I bet you she is very nice. I think Leo has been around nice people for a good part of his life, but for some reason, his brain is broken when it comes to me and Don's Plum. It's just broken. He's broken. We'll never be friends after what I wrote. Come on. I wish I could read it to you right now.
Why would you want to be? The guy,
I don't want to be his friend.
The guy decided that you were a villain to him
Yeah.
with no information
No, I never want to be.
whatsoever.
No, I have no. I could never trust that guy. I wouldn't trust that guy with anything, bro.
He
never.
delighted in meticulously destroying every part of your career, every social connection that you had.
I wake up
on no information. He had zero information. He heard a rumor from a person.
Yes.
And didn't think for a second that maybe that guy might have, like, I don't know, like a motive.
Or he was part of that
for
motive.
trying to destroy.
Or he was a part of that motive. You got to read the book. The book has theories.
It's unreal,
Or a
dude.
theory.
So yeah, he's.
No, that guy, I can never be his friend ever again. No, but, and I wouldn't want to be, not at all. I would love to return to Hollywood. You know who I'd like to be friends with again? Pedro Pascal. I love that guy.
He seems
You know,
like
we
a
weren't
sweetheart.
like close, you know, like we didn't hang out one-on-one, but, you know, we hung out with him a lot and I loved him. And he's just like, I mean, you know, so when I say friends, it would be like, it'd be nice to see him. It'd be nice to like maybe go to a movie or whatever, or just have dinner. I mean, I don't do that shit right now anyway because of COVID, but you know, eventually at some point, well, you know, hopefully they'll come up with a nasal spray that works and I'll be able to go and, you know, I'd be able to go out and have fun.
You hang out on a breezy veranda.
Yeah.
That's funny that you should send your book to his friends so that they
Victoria
can talk to him about it.
Soretti.
Yeah, that's her name.
I'm sorry I made that joke, that crass joke. He deserves all the crass jokes, but she doesn't.
What, is she old enough to read?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
It's not a great joke.
it is a problem with his reputation.
He knows it.
Why is he? What's his fucking problem? It is a little weird.
Yeah, no, but I don't think he's a PDF file. Do you know what I mean? At all. I think I truly believe that Leonardo DiCaprio is, you know, people always over the years have told me to get over it. I get this so much, it just makes me sick.
Yeah, why should you?
Like I literally wake up some mornings and it all hits me. Like, and this, I would say this happens to me numerous times a month where I'll just wake up in the morning and I'll be like, you know, standing in the bathroom, maybe brushing my teeth or something. And then all of a sudden I will be like a deluge of grief, of all the loss. And it's not just money, but I lost millions. It's all the work.
No, that was going to be your first film.
It was my first movie. It was my fucking slacker.
I even heard from a producer who loved your story, thought it was going to be an amazing, very interesting film. If he wasn't going to take it on himself, he was definitely going to make some phone calls and help us fucking make it happen.
That's right.
And then he heard who you were and understood that there was a blacklist in place that he didn't want to defy. And I'm just saying, like, what is the good explanation for somebody doing that to somebody else? Even if DiCaprio believed for a moment that the rumor about you was true, he never stopped to ask. He just went and fucking scorched earth.
Yeah,
your entire future. There's just no reason for
just
that.
all my
That
friends,
is
like-
an incredible injustice, and I don't know why he gets to fucking walk around like it never fucking happened. Like he didn't do the fucking worst thing you can do to somebody.
I had a very, you know, and look, this is my own personal experience, by the way, because I don't want to interfere with the way people feel about friendships, but I had a very different view of what friends meant to me in the time of hanging out with these guys. So friendships were gold to me. They were everything to me. They were my family. You know, you know, though I'm on reasonable terms with my family, you know, I had a very tough family life, you know, and we were never a close-knit family ever because it was lots of abuse, lots of trouble. And so, as I think is fairly common with people who come from troubled pasts, I found my chosen family to be like the most important thing to me. And my chosen family was in California. and it was Jeremy Sisto, and it was Meadow Sisto, and it was DiCaprio, Maguire, Connolly. It was Jay Ferguson. It was Artie Robb, and these were like my Ethan Suplee, big time on that list. And this was my extended family, my chosen family, and that he turned them all. And when I say he turned them, you know, I think some people kind of roll their eyes sometimes when they hear that, or it's easy at least for anyone to do that. But you yourself read in Kevin Connolly's deposition.
No, dude, they're bragging about how they literally went to each one of your friends and said, pick a side. You're either on their side or you're on our side.
In their deposition, bragging about literally telling people.
They see no problem with this.
And Leonardo DiCaprio at this time is now the biggest star in the world. Leonardo DiCaprio is now Titanic.
But he didn't just do it with your friends, which is bad enough.
I guess he wasn't Titanic at the time, although he was shooting Titanic at the time.
This is another thing, too, that they admit to. Like, they don't realize how fucking, like, ghoulish they sound. They didn't just do that with your friends to make them choose against you, pick a side, right? Like, these are fucking adults, right? No, but they actually went also to your, you know, any deals that you had in Hollywood. They would, like, hold meetings with those companies and then shit talk you and say, like, you're either on our side or their side.
Yeah.
Like, they admit to this. Like, Tobey Maguire talks about how he took a meeting at Jersey Films where I guess you guys had a 3-picture deal or something, and you did not have a 3-picture deal at the end of Tobey Maguire's meeting with them.
Sure didn't. No, yeah,
and
we had a 3-picture deal.
He fucking talks about how he told all this fucking false shit. And I don't know why they don't get sued for this. So, that's very, very clear. I mean, like, we're seeing Justin Baldoni make these allegations falsely, but he's backing it up. Like, that shit is illegal. You can't just fucking do that to people.
By the way, Jersey Films, for those who don't know, that was Danny DeVito's company. So we had a deal with Danny DeVito, and Artie Robb actually worked with Danny DeVito in Matilda. His part got cut, but Artie had a day player role. And
I'm so pissed that I never got to see the films you would have made at that production company.
Yeah.
It would have been awesome. And those things never existed because of Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire.
Vander Hoodson's talking about the dude from Clueless, not Paul Rudd, but the other one. I think you're talking about Jeremy Sisto.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeremy Sisto. I was very close with Jeremy Sisto at one time. We used to slow dance.
What?
No, we didn't. Hey, Jer. Hey, Dale. You want to slow dance, bro? I mean, we're just
Hey, Jer.
I did call him Jer.
God only knows.
The end of that song is so shrieking in my ear. Like, it's awful.
That's what you'd slow dance to? Okay. Shall we wrap it up?
I just thought of Dale as Hedwig and Leo as Tommy, and it made me chuckle. That's very funny. Oh, the angry inch. Well, that's because you know how I feel about Little Richards. Protect them forever. We had this thing planned out that we didn't get to. That was on the front page. We are going to get to this because it's really cool.
Because you went off the rails.
It's 5 myths that
you know what? It's not 5 anymore. It's going to be 10.
No, it will be 5.
No, it's going to be 10
Listen
because
to
there's
me.
too many
I am
lies.
the producer.
I can't leave them out.
You're going. It's 5 and a 6th that you won't believe.
It's going to be.
If you stick for the end, if you stick all the way to the end, there'll be a bonus one.
It's going to be 10. I'm just going to keep going, and you can't stop me.
Anyway, we have fun with these lives. Today was kind of interesting because we got derailed and we're on to Don's Plum, and I expect that's going to. I hope you guys, the guys who hang out with us, the real ones as I like to call them, I hope you guys will like grin and bear it and still hang out with us when we do get some Don's Plum activity. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll get an absolute fucking massive wave of it. Please, all the gods.
Lord,
it's Dale. I know you're busy. I just ask one thing of you. Please make my book a big hit. I'm waiting for it. Amen. Vander Hudson said that I lived a cooler life than most people. I had glimpses of cool. I've had a good life in the end, I guess you could say. I went through decades long of depression and suicidal ideation, and I had a very difficult time sticking with this life. I got real lucky, and I met what is the love of my life, and she turned my life completely around. Well, it's true.
I'm all right.
I'm finally at the stage where I'm not crying when I say this, but no, you came into my life, you changed everything around, and right when I needed it, you gave me the kind of support that helped me survive the darkest time I've ever been through all this. Because I think that what happens as you age is that so some of the stuff was cool, but as I got older, the pain of it became so incredibly intense that I didn't know what to do with it, and I know that if I didn't have somebody as strong and as smart and sensitive as you in my life, that I would have, I may not be here. So it's just...
Yeah, it's really tough because like the older you get, those unsolved problems, they get heavier to carry,
They do. Yeah, they do. And I had so many because I really didn't... I thought all these years that I'd solved the physical abuse, the sexual abuse. Like I thought I'd lived through all that and I was fine. I was like, I got this life. When I got to Hollywood, I'd survived all this like hideous shit. My childhood is god awful. And I was like, okay, well, and not god awful. I had some great moments there. I had happiness. I had cool shit as a child. Book worthy stuff. I tell Angela the stories and she's eager for a childhood memoir. But it was still very difficult and very tough. And by the time that I got to Hollywood, I felt like I'd overcome all of that I'd finally grown out of it and grown into my own ability to protect myself, my own ability to make my decisions and not be guided into these other situations that might lead to, these nefarious bad actors coming into my life and destroying my, my well-being, my mental well-being, my physical well-being. And then I ran into Tobey Maguire. Fuck me. Sideways.
Yeah, what a fucking jerk.
You guys are the fucking greatest human beings on earth. Thank you for those who are new to the channel, who came by. I hope you'll like it. I hope you'll also follow us. There's going to be plenty of stuff coming down about Don's Plum. Obviously, if Leonardo DiCaprio does whack-a-mole on me, we'll be covering it on this channel. As long as they don't come for me on this channel, too. Who the hell knows what's going to happen? Anyway, really fun hanging out with you guys. I hope you'll come back again tomorrow. And I hope to get to these 5 myths that Angela says is going to turn into 10 myths. But we think this is a good opportunity while there's a little lull here to go over some of the things that is really Baldoni debunking Baldoni, because we're really sick and tired of people coming up here and saying, oh, you fucking didn't read anything. I'm just going to point them to we're going to have a cut and pasted and ready to go. And I'm just going to fucking go watch this video, pushing videos.
Yep.
I don't know if you can on the live. They should be able to do that. I should be able to push you a video, go, you know what? Get off this live and go watch this, get fucking educated and come back and talk to me then. So the idea would be that we're going to like do a little education where it's not you and I showing any kind of bias, but rather us using their actual evidence, contextually correct and accurate.
To contradict
their
claims.
Well, not just contradict their claims, but really support her claims.
Yep.
To literally prove her case through, or at least substantially, point favor to her case as being the truth through their own fucking testimony. So I think it'll be cool. I hope you'll join us for that. That'll be tomorrow night, bar any kind of like life-changing experience, like somebody knocks on my door and serves me from Leonardo DiCaprio. Because that will definitely be
Don't manifest it, bro. What are you doing? Don't even speak it.
I adore each and every one of you. I hope you'll come back and see us tomorrow. Tonight was a really fun time. Sorry that we didn't get to the content that we promised, but I promise to get to the content we promised. I promise. Good night, everyone.
Good night.